Alright, so, moving on to what is probably a second video by now. I've kind of decided, since the other one was super long, hopefully this one is shorter. You may want to watch the previous video, because I've been going through a bunch of Pokemon stuff, because I'm all into Gen 1 Pokemon stuff right now, playing through Yellow again after getting it on my 3DS Virtual Console version of it there. It's been a long time, and so I've been watching the show. I watched some Game Grumps of it even. I've been looking through some of the old cards, and I thought I'd look at all these fighting cards and stuff too. They all fit in this little box that I had, and so I haven't played in a long time. What I'm thinking is, we're going to look through these. You might want to watch the last part, because there were a few cards in that booklet that we already looked at, and I just want to save a little time and not have to dig all those out again. But here we go. I think one of the only ones that went in there, there's like a Spearow, a Doduo. Some of them you will see in here. I think a Slowpoke. I think there's a Slowpoke that maybe isn't in here. I don't remember, but there's a Starmie. I'm pretty sure that's not in here. And there's a Machamp. I know that's not in here because it's the only one I had. So there's a few of those. But yeah, like these, I guess I figured I wanted it in the collection of those to display them and everything as a replacement as best I could for the trading cards I never got. And here, since I don't play the fighting card game, I don't really play. I guess this is technically called the trading card game, even though I thought these were always called the fighting cards, and that the other cards I was collecting were the trading cards. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. But these were cool because then you could collect the cards. There were multiple variants of the different Pokemon, and they had different moves and stuff. And this card game was actually pretty fun. Right here, I think this is supposed to be kind of similar to some other card games that were big. Like, I think it might have been some similarities to things like Magic: The Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! Somewhat, but it was a different IP. It was more accessible, I guess, to a lot of people who were kind of intimidated by the other stuff or didn't know it. And I never played this much, just played a few times, probably with my brother, I think, mostly. And then, yeah. I had the Game Boy game. That was pretty fun. I'm on the fence on if I want to get that on 3DS as well or not. So, yeah, I don't know. I was way into Pokemon stuff, and these were always kind of cool. I remember actually for a while I don't have them anymore. I don't know if we threw those away or what, but we did make our own Pokemon cards. They were mostly horribly overpowered, and the fun part was more in the idea of just making our own creatures. And they were kind of fun. I had a bunch of tape on them to make them seem like they were more official, so they're pseudo laminated like that, I guess. I don't know, it was kind of fun. So I don't know, the lighting is less harsh in this one. I'm further away from the computer, but I'm sorry if there's shadows and other stuff. I'm hoping it'll work like this, and hopefully this video won't be as long. Also, I have that booklet down there. That's I don't have the play mat anymore. We did have the mat actually for this whole game, which was kind of neat, and all the damage counters and everything, but I don't seem to have those anymore. And like an official like coin to flip for it, I think, as well, which is basically like it had like a Pikachu on one side and like there's nothing on the other side, I think, was the coin. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the book at the end, or basically probably read it in the next video, where I look at some other stuff. And yeah, like right now I'm still planning on basically doing about 4 videos of this, so hopefully that's cool with you guys. So let's start with some of these energies. They'll be pretty quick. So I don't know how to really explain the game at all exactly, but I'll try to explain bits and pieces as we go a little. The general idea is, of course, to defeat the enemy Pokemon and try to beat them like you would a normal Pokemon battle. Usually by using your moves, and your moves do damage. Sometimes there are special effects like poisoning or putting someone to sleep or paralyzing them. Because like sleep is basically you have to flip a coin, and if you get heads, you Well, I'll try to explain these as they go along, I guess, as I come up. Basically, so yeah, like you need to do your different moves to try and defeat your opponent. You need to put Pokemon into your bench. You need to then, if you want to get stronger ones, you need to evolve them up from the prior version of them. So like if you had to, like say over there is like a Pikachu, and it's like, well, if you want to use a Raichu, you have to first play a Pikachu and then play a Raichu on it on a different turn to evolve it. And so it can take time to build that up. There are trainer cards, which we'll get to, which can have a variety of effects that help you out with different strategies. But the main idea is getting your Pokemon out there and attacking the opponent, and to use your different attacks, you have to have energies on there. And so that's why you have all these little energy cards up here. So it's like you need certain energies to do things. And the card tells you how many of each kind of energy you need to do those different things. There's also resistances and weaknesses depending on your type. So you can do basically, I think, I don't remember entirely how it works. It might depend on the Pokemon, but it's like resistance is you resist so much of a type, so much damage for every attack. And for weakness, I think it's like it adds, I don't know if remember if it doubles or just adds an extra 10 with every attack. It might just be adds an extra 10, I don't remember. So that part we'll find out in the booklet, I suppose. But we'll find out more there, I guess. So here's the electric energy. Oh, get that hair off. They've been on the ground a little while. I have them sitting out so I remember where we were. Just looks like this. They all look the same. And that's electric energy. We've got a grass energy. Got a little bit of shadows going on here, I guess, but not too crazy bad. Well, some of this also depends on the angle I'm looking at these. We've got fire energies. Yes. Water energies. Yeah. They're all pretty simple. So you can tell what's what. I must have had a water deck and a fighting deck and possibly a psychic. They had a lot of psychic energies. Whoa. Look at all those. All eyeball and stuff. I guess it makes sense that psychic type made its way into it. Psychic. Here's fighting. You also notice that there's not an energy for every type. There's no flying, ground, rock. Like basically, I think most flying are just ended up kind of categorized as either whatever other type they were or normal. Which I'll see in a sec. Most ice are usually just considered water. I think most ghosts are considered psychic. And most poison are considered grass, while most rock and ground types are usually considered in fighting. And so there's some different, depending on it, they kind of try to play with the strengths and resistances and everything, according more to some of this more basic format, I guess. There's no dragon. I don't remember what dragon goes under. I don't know if I even have any dragons. They might be normal or something. I don't remember. I feel like I might have one. They might be normal, but again, I don't recall. So that now here's we got, these are a little interesting because there's a few different ones. Here we've got an energy with a full heal. This is a normal or colorless energy. I don't know how well we can read this because of the glares everywhere. If you play this card from your hand, yeah, so you can get rid of its status effect because full heal, and it provides one colorless energy after that. And it says it doesn't count as a basic energy. I believe, as far as I know, unless there are some that I just never got, there's no just colorless energy. So that's a basic energy. I don't think there's any just singular color energy like this, like colorless. always some kind of special thing with it. And I think it says when you play from your hands, but like it doesn't count every time it's there. It's just like right when you play it, that kind of thing. Then we've got this is harder than I thought it was going to be. We got this potion energy, which heals 10 when you do it, I think. It's hard to read these through the viewfinder too. Play this card from hand. Oh yeah, you move 10. You move a damage counter, which damage counter equals 10 HP. So it all goes from like multiples of 10 HP. And again, doesn't count as a basic energy because there's a thing attached to it. And the more common one is the double colorless energy, which does not count as basic energy either, I don't believe. Yes, it doesn't count as a basic energy card. So it counts as double colorless. So you just get 2 of those. Which is sort of an advantage, I guess, to some normal types, since I don't have any, normal's not gooding as anything, so it's easier to build up those on normal types, which we'll kind of get into that a bit more, in a bit here. I don't know how much I want to explain up front and as much as we go, but those are all the energies. Let's start with electric type Pokemon. Okay. So here we got a Pikachu. That's 40 HP. This is standard. Mouse Pokemon, length 1 foot 4 inches, weight 13 pounds. Does Gnaw. Does 10. You see Thunder Jolt, flip a coin. If tails, Pikachu does 10 damage to itself. Oh. See, his weakness is fighting. It's because fighting usually also includes ground types. So now you have to watch out for more than just Pokemon that would be considered ground. It has no resistances, and its retreat cost is 1, colorless. What's this tidbit of information under here? When several of these Pokemon gather, their electricity can cause lightning storms. It's level 12, number 25. And that's another thing, is that, well, it says the type right up in the corner there too, with the HP. But yeah, like, there are different versions, usually they're different levels, and so that's how you can kind of tell some of this stuff. And that's how they get away with having different ones with different moves. Here we see, now you see like Thunder Jolt takes an electric energy and a colorless, and now it just takes a colorless. And that doesn't mean you need to specifically to have a colorless energy. It means that you can use any energy to fulfill that. Same with the retreat cost there. You can remove any energies as long as you remove at least that many, which is only 1. And this is a basic Pokemon card, so you can place this down and use it right away without having to place something else to evolve it, right? Because it's the first evolution at this point of Pikachu. So that's sort of how that stuff works. So like, say I had 2 electric energies, I could use Thunder Jolt and Gnaw. Let's say I had, as in if I had like an electric energy and like a water energy, I could still use either of these attacks. If I had just a water energy, I could still use Gnaw. So like, it's colorless doesn't matter, but it does matter for that. And then when I retreat, if I had like an electric or a water, like electric and a water energy, I would probably just want to take off the water energy, so I'd still have that electric one in the bag for, like, ready to go, for if I put it back up onto there again. And it retains its damage and its energies, at least the ones that aren't done with the retreat cost, when it goes back to the bench. And I believe it's like, I think you can only have 5 on the bench, too. Like, having 6 total, so there's that. Sorry, my throat's being weird. Here we have another Pikachu. It's got 50 HP. Look at that cutie purr. Got hoop. Also, a little snippet here says it's a mouse Pokemon, length 1 foot 4 inches, weight 13 pounds. That's the same. Its Its attack is Spark, which can do 20. And if your opponent has any benched Pokemon, choose one of them. And this attack does 10 damage to it. Don't apply weakness and resistance for benched Pokemon. So that's interesting. It's got the same weakness and retreat cost. And a little bit down here is that when several of these, it's the same fact, those lightning storms. But it's level 14. And this one, obviously, you need to have 2 electric energies. And that's kind of interesting, where it's like, yeah, if you get that, the Pokemon that are on the bench are, well, you can keep prepping them and get them ready so that when you want to take them out, they can start fighting right away. This could attack them while they're on there, so that's a rescue run. A lot of strategy in the game. There's also, basically, it's usually fought in the means of, like, you can play and you can have as many Pokemon, try to put as many out there or whatever as you want, but the thing is, once you beat somebody's Pokemon and it falls, you get one of their prizes. And, you just play for a certain amount of prizes. And once all the prizes are gone, that's the end of the match. I think that's how you also obtain other cards from beating people in general, is to put up prize cards to raffle away, sort of. Or something like that. That part I wasn't always sure on because I played the video game version usually. We've got a few of these there's a lot of these same kind of Pikachu. In a row, I've got like 5 of these. Exactly. When I say like 5 of these, I say exactly 5 of that kind of Pikachu. I ordered these really weird, I just kind of threw them together, putting like stuff together, so. Here we got a Magnemite. Electric type also. Oh, this is electric type, I don't know why I'm saying that. Again, basic Pokemon. Yes, it says basic up there. They just show you what it needs to evolve from, if it's not a basic. And obviously, because of how Pokemon evolve, there's usually a stage 1, or there's a stage 2 card, which is the first evolution, and a stage 3 card, I believe is what they're called. I could be wrong, we'll see when we get to an evolution if it starts at stage 2, or if it starts at stage 1, and basic is like the 0, I don't know. That's Magnemite. Magnet Pokemon, length 1 foot 0 inches, weighs 13 pounds, weighs as much as a Pikachu. There's little symbols down here, I don't know what those mean. If it's like does that look like a 2, is that like a second run? I don't know. Most of these are all stuff that I think came out around the same time with more original stuff, so I kind of kept those. And so, like, I don't know what is the different editions, but none of these are Gen 2 or anything. I guess that's where I mostly do the line. So you can do Thunder Wave with 1 electric energy, and flip a coin. Heads, defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. And what that means is, if they're paralyzed on their turn, they flip a coin. And if heads, they get to do an attack, like normal. If tails, then they're fully paralyzed for that turn. Then self-destruct was 40 with electric and anything else. Does 10 damage to each Pokemon on each player's bench, and you don't apply the weakness or resistance for that. And Magnemite does 40 damage to it, well, obviously, because that's all the health it has at max, so it's dead. And then it's basically like, again, you still get points for if you defeat something that's on the bench of someone else, you get the prize. If you defeat your own on the bench, they get the prize. And so that's something to really watch a lot, is attacking the bench and attacking what's out there and that kind of stuff. And again, tons of strategies. This is kind of crazy. Its weakness and resistance are the same. Retreat cost is the same as Pikachu was. And then this uses anti-gravity to stay suspended. Appears without warning and uses attacks like Thunder Wave. Level 13. Here we have a special card. How awesome is this? Another basic Pokemon. Lieutenant Surge's Voltorb. 50 HP. Little thing of a... Look at him. Look at him up there. He's defending the Thunder Beach. Ball Pokemon. Length 1 foot 8 inches. Weight 23 pounds. Its attack is with an electric and anything else. Bouncing Ball. does 30 and flip a coin. If tails, Lieutenant Surge's Voltorb does 10 damage to itself. So it's a bit of a gamble to do some of that stuff, because it's like, if you succeed, it can be really good for you, but if you fail, it can be pretty bad for you sometimes, so, yeah. And there's Surge in the corner, so you know it's his. Usually these are supposed to be kind of better-ish Pokemon when you get them. Weaknesses, it's the same as a lot of the other electric types. I don't know if all electric types have the same, or all types have the same stuff. I don't think that's necessarily the case. In fact, I'm pretty sure it isn't the case. But that's weakness is fighting. And since electric is actually just electric type, I guess they might all be the same. Resistance is nothing. Yoshikasa is one of those, level 15. It doesn't have a little Pokemon fact under it because there's not enough space. However, then you have the standard old regular Voltorb here. With only 40 HP. Its only move is Speedball. It does 20, but it only takes 1 energy. Electric energy, but still. There's that, and the retreat cost, and the fact with it is usually seen only in power plants. It is sometimes seen in towns, apparently using the power lines to travel. That's a cool. Of course, Lieutenant Surge has more tricks up his sleeve. And he's also got an Electrode. It says 70 HP. And again, what you do is, it says stage 1, and I'm unclear if that means that that is the first stage of the Pokemon, or if it means that this is called a stage 1 card. I totally forget. It might be that this is called a stage 1 card. Either way, you need to have a Voltorb in order to put Electrode onto it. I don't think it matters which Voltorb it is. It doesn't show the same Voltorb from the other card, so I assume any Voltorb can be turned into this Electrode. Ball Pokemon, length 3 feet 11 inches, weight 147 pounds. Here it's got a little Pokemon power that's pretty small. I can't read it through the viewfinder, I don't think. But a Pokemon power is sort of a passive thing, which I think got introduced, I'm pretty sure. Because when these came out, this was introduced before there was such a thing that, like, in the main games. It's like, there was just, like, inherent ability that the Pokemon had. And its Pokemon power is Shock Blast. If Lieutenant Surge's Electrode is your active Pokemon and gets damaged, even if it's knocked out, flip a coin. If Tails, this power does 20 damage to each active Pokemon. This power works even if Lieutenant Surge's Electrode is already asleep, confused, or paralyzed when it takes damage. Okay. So I guess you wouldn't necessarily want to take damage from that, but I guess if you did, then it would do it to them too. It's kind of a weird trade-off. The other attack is Powerball, which is 30 plus. So flip 3 coins. This attack does 30 damage plus 10 more for each heads. That's interesting. There's a ton of Surge in the corner again there. And yeah. Weakness is the same, no resistance. Retreat cost, though, is more constantly. It takes 2 because it's a bigger Pokemon. It's a stronger one, so it takes more. Yeah. It's level 33. So that's cool. Next up, we got Electabuzz. He's basic. 70 HP. Electric Pokemon, weight 3 foot 7 inches, weight 66 pounds. Pretty light. Thundershock. Flip a coin. If heads, the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. Which again, like I said, just wind paralysis. Then station electric and something else. Thunder Punch. Flip a coin at 30 plus. If flip a coin, if heads, this attack does 30 damage plus 10 more damage. If tails, this attack does 30 damage, and Electabuzz does 10 damage to itself. A lot of that going around. The retreat cost is 2 there. Same weakness as before as all the other electrics. Normally found near power plants, it can wander away and cause major blackouts in cities. Level 35. Yeah, I think that's also a big thing that happens a lot, where it's like it's a risk versus reward thing with a lot. There's a lot of manipulating stats for certain ones. So again, I mean, it's stupid to keep bringing this up as like, oh, there's strategy. Of course there is, but yeah, this kind of stuff made it pretty interesting. How's my battery doing? Battery looks okay for right now. Let's move on to the grass types. See if we got some interesting ones. And they've got quite a few grass types here. What's interesting is I don't really remember a lot of these. I remember a lot. I feel like we didn't have much for fire. There's a pretty low stack energies too. I don't remember a lot of the other ones. I feel like we didn't have a whole lot of grass types before either. But I think you typically buy like the packs are more geared towards like getting a lot of like I think it's still somewhat random maybe, but it's like you get a lot of stuff for each kind of deck. And just there's certain rare ones you can sometimes get. Okay, so first up on the top here for our grass type for 40 HP, we have Koga's Zubat. I guess he has a Zubat now. Like a scary. Bat Pokemon, length 2 feet 7 inches, weight 17 pounds. Its only attack here is group attack using a grass energy and a colorless energy 10 times. It does 10 damage times the number of Koga's Zubats you have in play. Before doing damage, you may search your deck for any number of basic Pokemon named Koga's Zubat and put them into your bench. You can't get more cards with this attack than you have room for on your bench. If you do, shuffle your deck afterwards. So basically, yeah, I guess it's just so you can have a bunch of them if they're on your bench. That counts as active. And again, it's a poison type. Obviously, it do has like poison and flying, but it's under grass because there's not a specific poison one. Its weakness is psychic, like poison would be, so that makes sense. Its resistance is this negative 30, which means that whenever a fighting type would attack them, just like flying Pokemon can resist fighting types, there's Koga. Then you can basically, whenever they do any attack, you can take 30 damage off of it. Oh my god, apparently there's no retreat cost for this one either. That's pretty crazy if you have a lot of them level 14. Yeah, so like, that's kind of what I was getting at, where it's like they tried to kind of make up for some of the typings with more specialized resistances and weaknesses and stuff. And again, I feel bad because I don't remember if it is straight up just double damage for every. I think it might be that. It might just be double damage for every attack of your weakness. That's why there's not like an extra thing about your weakness, usually. It's not like plus so much or times so much or anything. I think it's always just times 2 of the resulting damage. As far as I remember. We'll see. Which can be pretty devastating. Now here we also have another Zubat. Just 40 HP. Same stuff. It knows Ram any energy for that and does 10. And then bite it with the grass and anything. Does 20. Same resistance and same weakness resistance, and also no retreat cost. Interesting. Lives in dark caves, can occasionally be seen at night when it flies in search of food. Level 9. Yeah, they're not my favorite Pokemon out there. I've never really used them in the trading card game. Okay, on Game Boy, I didn't really play this a ton of times, so. Hey, what's this? Why, it's another Zubat. Also, 40 HP there. Yeah. Supersonic, flip a coin. If heads of the defending Pokemon is now confused next to, if anything. And that's, confusion works in the way of, basically, when it's your turn, you flip a coin. I believe it's just you flip a coin. And if it's heads, I don't know if it lasts so many turns or not, but I believe it's just like if you flip it and it's heads, you hurt yourself in confusion. You do like 10 to yourself. Or if you're somehow weak to yourself, I think something must be. I'm not thinking of right now. But like you flip a coin and do it, and it's like heads. Maybe some of the bug ones or something are like that. I don't remember. And if it's heads, or if it's against tails, you hurt yourself. If it's heads, I believe you just don't. I wouldn't say heads the first time. If you flip a coin and it's tails, you hurt yourself. And if you get heads, then I think you're cured of your confusion. I believe that's how it works. And Leech Life, what does that do? Grass and anything else. Remove a number of damage counters from Zubat equal to the damage done to the defending Pokemon after applying weakness and resistance. If Zubat has fewer damage counters than that, remove all of them. So basically, yeah, obviously you can't have more health than you have, but yeah, that also means that, like, well, if you are super effective against something, you can then, eat their damage, whatever, and you get like twice as much, which you can't do. Plus it can be manipulated with other items that can give you like extra attack power and stuff, and then that would affect it as well, I suppose. And like, what was I gonna say? I don't remember. I just had a thing that popped into my head and then it went away. Well, that was it. It's the thing of like, you can do 0 damage also. That's totally a thing. It's not like, like in the main games, and it's like, oh, even if like your attack is super reduced, you'll always do at least 1 damage when you hit. But here it's like, no. Like, you can just straight up do 0 damage. In the same weakness, same resistance, and again, no retreat cost. That's crazy. This is a level 10 Zubat. It says forms colonies in perpetually dark places, uses ultrasonic waves to identify and approach targets. I think that's a different fact than the other ones were, wasn't it? Yeah, crazy. The more you know. I also have a few more of those Zubats. We have how many of those? We have 3 of those. So we don't need to look at all 3 of that exact same Zubat, do we? The answer is no. Here we have a Bellsprout. Grass type, 40 HP. Look how proud. This looks pretty nice. Pretty colorful, little like windowy looking thing. Flower Pokemon, length 2 feet 4 inches, weight 9 pounds. Interesting to say length instead of height, I guess, because they're more like animals, a lot of them. So, use a grass energy to use Vine Whip, just 10. Also, just a grass energy to use Call for family. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon named Bellsprout and put it into your bench. Onto your bench. Shuffle your deck afterwards. You can't use this attack if your bench is full. Meaning that, yeah, if all your bench slots are taken. As far as I know, there's not really a way to take them off of your bench either until they're destroyed. So you have to be careful about your bench management as well. If you don't have any Pokemon on your bench, when your main Pokemon goes down, you automatically lose, I believe. So you want to have Pokemon there, but you don't want to flood it if it's going to mean you can't put other ones on later. And so do you want a lot of the same thing, or do you want a variety? Again, how many times can I say this? There's a lot of strategy. Now here, this weakness is fire, because I guess they're going more with like it's more of a grass type. It doesn't have any resistance, and retreat cost is only 1. A carnivorous Pokemon that traps and eats bugs. It uses its root feet to soak up needed moisture. It's level 11. Four of those suckers. So yeah, different Pokemon, even in the same types there, because they are different types in the main games, they kind of consider that. Which is probably good. Here we have Paris. Good at 40 HP. It's a popular amount of HP. Mushroom Pokemon. Length 1 foot 0 inches. Weight 12 pounds. Now 2 of anything to do scratch. For 20. To grass use spore, the defending Pokemon is now asleep. Weakness is fire. No resistance. Retreat cost 1. Burrows to suck tree roots. The mushrooms on its back grow by drawing nutrients from the bug host. Level 8. Yeah, it's really a creepy Pokemon to think it's like, yeah, it's just like a plant, the thing that like takes over a bug. Pretty simple. That's all for that one. Here we have Koga's coughing. It'd be funnier if I didn't actually have a cough right now. 50 HP. Sick. Poison gas Pokemon. Length 2 feet 0 inches. Weight 2 pounds. Pretty light. Mostly gas. Smoke Screen 10. If the defending Pokemon tries to attack during your opponent's next turn. I'm all shaky. Sorry, if the defending Pokemon tries to attack during your opponent's next turn, your opponent flips a coin. If tails, that attack does nothing. So basically it's like lowering your accuracy every time they use that. And if grass and anything else uses Obscuring Gas, which is 30. And flip a coin. If heads, shuffle Koga's coughing and all cards attached to it into your deck after doing damage. That's kind of strange, but that's almost like a last ditch effort thing of like you're gonna die, so you do that and you don't, it doesn't count as you being defeated kind of thing. Weakness, Psychic, no resistance, retreat cost, it's just 1 energy. Level 15. Wait, there's more. We have ourselves another kind of Koga's coughing. How many coughing does he have? At least 2. This one only has 40 HP. He has this attack, Smelly Gas. Dear God. Only 1 grass energy. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 10 damage to each benched Pokemon, including your own. That sucks. Don't apply weakness resistance for benched Pokemon. Better have some high HP Pokemon or nothing on your bench if you're going to be doing this crazy stuff. That's Koga, by the way. It's Psychic, no resistance, and tree cost is still 1. This one is level 10. So it doesn't know as much because it's only level 10. Okay. Here we have a regular coughing. Belongs to no ninja. No nonsense coughing. 50 HP. It smells foul gas for 2 grass energies. That's 10. And flip a coin. If heads, the defending Pokemon is now poisoned. If tails, it is now confused. That's pretty crazy. That's really weak. But also, I believe, as far as I remember, unlike in the main games, you can actually stack status effects. So you can already stack. Poison. Like a lot, most of the stats effects, and most of the stats effects you can stack already with confusion. But here, confusion, they're all like kind of separate, so you can have them like. I think you can have them poisoned. I think you can also have them paralyzed at the same time. I think, if I remember, I could be remembering wrong, but I think you can have multiple things on it. I think there's also no freezing stats effect, instead of usually just freezing stuff, would just paralyze them instead for most of those. So yeah, I think it's possible to be asleep and confused and all that stuff at the same time, which is pretty interesting. Its weakness is psychic. Retreat cost is 1 of anything, and because it stores several kinds of toxic gases in its body, it is prone to exploding without warning. Level 13. Alright. Hold on a sec. I'm sure this is gonna get in the way when I try to stand up a bunch of times and all this other stuff, but I'm gonna plug this in if we can, because my battery's gonna die. Okay. Oh, a wild oddish appeared. 50 HP. It's a weed Pokemon. Length 1 foot 8 inches. Weight 12 pounds. Weed Pokemon. Smoke oddish. Every day. Sunspore. 1 grass energy does 10. Wow. A Sunspore that hurts. That would be cool. Flip a coin. If its defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. And Sprout takes 2. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon named Oddish and put it onto your bench. Shuffle your deck. Afterward, you can't use this. Your bench is full. Its weakness is fire. No resistance. Retreat cost 1. During the day, it keeps its face buried in the ground. At night, it wanders around, sowing its seeds. Level 8. Nothing too fancy. Most basic Pokemon are a little simpler. You know how it is. This basic. Okay. Here we got a stage 1. We got an evolutionary here. The Gloom has 60 HP. What nightmare, but it looks kind of cool. A lot of the artwork on these can be pretty interesting at times. The stuff that's used to depict. This is also a weed Pokemon. Length 2 feet 7 inches. Weight 19 pounds. One of those. Grass energy is to do poison powder. The defending Pokemon is now poisoned. And foul odor does 20, and both the defending Pokemon and Gloom are now confused after doing damage. That's not the greatest. That's kind of rough. And again, like full heal would cure all these status effects at once, I suppose. Something like that. Its weakness is fire. No resistance. Retreat cost is 1. That's another thing I was going to bring up. You notice like Oddish had a thing of like, oh well, also they have basically the same, maybe I can show these all at once. They have the same actual like energy thing, so like if you built Oddish up to have those 2 grass energies, you'd already have Gloom prepared. And that's the thing to think of when you're building your basic Pokemon, and you know, like, you need to know like what your evolutions are and what energies you'll need, because you don't want to just stack a bunch of energies you don't need into like a Pokemon that you know is going to need more of another kind. Like if you need like, you know, like I don't know, for example, like you need like a, say you need like 3 grass energies to use a move on your Pokemon, and then on the previous one, like you have a move that takes a grass, and then a move that takes like a grass and a colorless. While it's tempting to put anything else on there anyways, you might want to just put 2 grass energies there, because you know you're going to need to have at least 3 of them to do that other move. So I just found that kind of interesting. Like again, to build into that. The fluid that oozes from its mouth isn't drool. It is a nectar that is used to attract prey. Level 22. Yeah, sure. It's very, very attractive. Very attractive. Wow. Here we have Sabrina's Venonat. That's a spicy Venonat. And this is actually kind of interesting too, because you look at this and it's like, this is a bug type and a poison type, neither of which like exist as separate types here. So they kind of got lumped into being a grass type. Insect Pokemon, length 3 feet 3 inches, weight 66 pounds. Good lord. We need more than a fly swatter for this thing. 1 grass energy for poison antennae. The defending Pokemon is now poisoned. that right? Make sure my eyes were working right. Yes, he's psychic and a colorless. That's interesting. For removal beam, 20 damage, and if the defending Pokemon has any energy cards attached to it, flip a coin. If heads, choose one of those energy cards and discard it. That's pretty crazy, because then you can just choose to remove, like, a double colorless. You remove a lot from an enemy, and like if they have or specific ones for their type that they need to use, and you take those off. That can be a big problem for some of them. It can cause resource issues. But you see, to balance that, they sort of have this other, like, oh, well, you need this off energy to do it. So essentially, I guess ideally, you'd probably just want to have a grass energy and a psychic energy on it. There's Sabrina. Its weakness is fire, which I guess makes sense, because that would be the weakness to a bug, I guess. No resistance. Energy cost is 1. It's level 13. Yes. My eyes worked on that. It's a little blurry through this sometimes when it doesn't want to focus, but, you know. I'm managing the best that I can. Which, dare I say, is okay. Here we have a regular Asbenat, 40 HP. Doesn't look nearly as cute. No Stun Spore. For 10, flip a coin. If heads, the Pokemon is now paralyzed. And Leech Life is grass and anything. Does 10. Remove a number of damage counters from Venonat equal to the damage done to many Pokemon. Basically like Leech Life was before. Some of these moves are, I think, repeated because they're more basic types of moves, especially ones that actually existed in the main game, so you don't need to read them every time, I guess. And, so they just make them consistent like that. Weakness is fire, resistance nothing, tree cost 1 thing. Lives in the shadows of tall trees, where it eats insects. It is attracted by light at night. Level 12. Next we got a follow-up to the, a contender to the Weed Pokemon title. We have Weedle. Weedle. 40 HP. Again, bug and poison, but it gets turned into grass. It's Hairy Bug Pokemon. Length 1 foot, no inches. Weight 7 pounds. Grass energy for poison sting, and flip a coin if heads the defending Pokemon is not poisoned. Pretty simple. Weakness is fire. No resistance. Tree cost 1. Often found in forests, eating leaves. It has a sharp, venomous stinger on its head. Level 12. Yeah, pretty simple stuff. Call those. And our boy Koga's back with his big bad Kakuna. It's the big Kakuna. 60 HP, and he got evolved from a Weedle. Weedle boy. Cocoon Pokemon, length 2 feet 1 inch. Sorry, 2 feet no inches, weight 22 pounds. I don't know why I said 1 there. Again, no idea what these symbols on the side ever really mean for most of those. Let's read that Pokemon power, because that's small print. Pokemon power is Emerge. Once during your turn before you attack, you may flip a coin. If heads, search your deck for an evolution card named Koga's Beedrill and put it on Koga's Kakuna. This counts as evolving Koga's Kakuna. Shuffle your deck afterward. The power can't be used if Koga's Kakuna is asleep, confused, or paralyzed. And then you use 1 grass energy to use Toxic Secretion. Flip a coin. If heads, the defending Pokemon is now poisoned. It now takes 20 damage instead of 10 after each player's turn, even if it was already poisoned. So which is like basically almost like the move Toxic, where it's like, but it doesn't go exponentially. It's just like a harsher poisoning. Weakness is still fire, no resistance, but retreat cost is 2 energies. Level 21, yeah, you should probably love this shit, dude. You should not have a level 21 fucking... What was Weedle again? Yeah, why is Weedle level 12? And why is the Kakuna level 21? You're not learning any new moves. You're just a stupid asshole. That's what you are. Here we have Caterpie. It's 40 HP. Worm Pokemon, length 1 foot, 0 inches, weight 6 pounds. 6 pounds, pretty hefty for a Berg. String Shot, 10 of a coin of heads. Defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. That's pretty. That's with String Shot. Was that great? Weakness: fire, no resistance. Tree cost 1, and its short feet are tipped with suction pads to enable it to tirelessly climb slopes and walls. Level 13. Here we got Metapod, the evolution, with 70 HP. Holy crap. He's a hardened to beat. Cocoon Pokemon, length 2 feet 4 inches, weight 22 pounds. 2 of anything uses Stiffen. Oh yeah. Have a coin of heads. Prevent all damage done to Metapod during your opponent's next turn. Any other attacks still happen. So you can kind of wait out a Pokemon that's going to attack you. Like if you poisoned it or something, I guess, and put other stuff onto it, you could just use that and wait it out during that. As long as it doesn't have any special effects and stuff for its moves and doesn't retreat. And then 2 grass energies to use Stun Spore, 20 of a coin of heads. Defending Pokemon is not paralyzed. Weakness is fire, no resistance. For retreat cost is now 2. It is vulnerable to attack because its shell is soft, exposing its weak and tender body. Level 21. I feel like a lot of these were actually on the trading cards before. Some of these are just excerpts of stuff that was already written on the back of those, and a lot of those were pieces oftentimes pulled from the Pokedex. I don't know. Here's an interesting one. I don't have a Bulbasaur, but I do have Ivysaur. In fact, I have friggin' 2 of them. 2 of the same one, but here's Ivysaur with 60 HP. Normally you'd evolve him from a Bulbasaur, but we don't have one, so that's a shame. Seed Pokemon. Length 3 feet 3 inches. Weight 29 pounds. We use a grass and anything for the other 2. You can use Vine Whip for 30. That's pretty strong. If you have 3 grass energies, you can do 20, and the defending Pokemon is now poisoned. That's pretty good. That's something I might use. Resistance is fire. Sorry, weakness is fire. Resistance is nothing. Retreat cost is only 1. Wow. When the bulb on its back grows large, this Pokemon seems to lose the ability to stand on its hind legs. Level 20. And I'm pretty sure that was on the back of those cards. I think they're just repeating information now. I think we've been had. Hopefully now you'll extra learn it from hearing it multiple times. But again, I have far less of these than, the actual trading card ones, and I don't know, maybe some of them are different sometimes. Oh, another one in the Gym Leader series. Here we have Giovanni's Nidoran. Well, 40 HP. Look at him, there's a bunch of ground around him, that's how you can tell he's Giovanni's. Poison Pin Pokemon. Length 1 foot 4 inches, weight 15 pounds. You can use Double Kick. If you have any energies, Double Kick 10 times, flip 2 coins. Its attack goes 10 times the number of damage, times the number of heads. There's a lot of attacks like that where it's like, yeah, if you just get a bunch of tails, doesn't matter. I think we might see these, but I'm going to bring this up now because I don't know if we're going to necessarily see them. But there are some where you'll get like, I don't know, I'm allergic to something on these cards. My nose keeps acting up when I do these. But there's attacks where you can do like a bunch of these in a row. It's like 10, like, I don't know, I'm sorry, my mind's going all over the place. Where it's basically like, it's like flip a coin and until you hit tails, it's like it does 10 times the number of heads. And so you can potentially just rack up enough damage to totally knock out a Pokemon like immediately with a ton of heads in a row with that, if you're lucky. So I don't know if we're going to see one or not, but I thought I would bring that up. If you use a grass energy, you can use retaliation. 30 damage. You can't use this attack unless you have Nidoran. Male has 2 or more damage counters on it. And at that point, you can just like hit harder, I suppose. Weakness is psychic because it's poison. No resistance for T-Cost is 1. Level 14. Oh, sorry. There's Giovanni. It looks, well, it looks like he's there. You know, that's the important part. He isn't not there. Sorry, this is really bugging me. Here we have a regular Nidoran female with a lot more HP, 60 HP. Again, you do damage counters, multiples of 10. So I guess nothing's gonna have like a weird number of HP. Also, poison pin Pokemon. Length 1 foot 4 inches, weight 15 pounds. With a grass energy, you can do Fury Stripes 10 times. Flip 3 coins, this attack is 10 times the number of heads. And then Call for Family, if you use 2 of these. Grass energy, search for attack for basic Pokemon named Nidoran with male or Nidoran female and put it into your bench. Keep saying into when it's onto. Shuffle your deck afterwards. You can't use this attack if your bench is full. Weakness is Psychic. No resistance, which costs 1. Although small, its venomous barbs make this Pokemon dangerous. The female has smaller horns. Level 13. This is still going to be a really long video, I'm sorry. I'm only in the second little stack of these. Maybe this isn't going to be as short as I thought. Here's Ekans. Snake backwards, as we already know. Snake Pokemon. Length 6 feet 7 inches, weight 15 pounds. You have grass energy, you spit poison, flip a coin if heads, the defending Pokemon is now poisoned. And then wrap with the grass and nothing else. 20 damage, flip a coin if heads, the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. Weakness is Psychic, no resistance, free cost 1. Moves silently and stealthily. Eats the eggs of birds such as Pidgey and Spearow whole. Level 10. Here we have a Grimer with 40 HP, which is a sludge Pokemon, length 2 feet 11 inches, weight 66 pounds. 1 grass energy gives it poison gas, defending Pokemon is now asleep. Poison gas puts it to sleep, that's interesting. Stupid. Why isn't it called like sleeping gas or something? 2 grass energies, you get to use Sticky Hands. 10 plus. Flip a coin. If heads this attack does damage, does 10 damage plus 20 damage, 20 more damage, and the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. If tails, the attack does 10 damage. Oh. Weakness is Psychic, no resistance, tree cost 1. It has recently been found that Grimers are formed in waste processing plants and can move into towns via the sewers. Level 10. And the final of the grass types I have. I don't have the basic for it, but I do have all the way up to Executor. Buzz from Execute, so you can see in there. 80 HP. Coconut Pokemon. Length 6 feet 7 inches. Weight 265 pounds. If you use a Psychic energy on it, because it's also typed partly Psychic in the games, but of course it's not here. Switch Executor with one of your benched Pokemon, which is basically you can forego the retreat cost. And anything can use Big Explosion, which is 20 times. Flip a number of coins equal to the number of energy attached to this Executor. This attack does 20 damage times the number of heads. So I guess having more energies on him would be better for using a bunch of that. Weakness is Fire, no resistance, but you'll see here, which I think is a missed opportunity, but I guess they didn't want him to resist certain things. I feel like he should be able to resist Psychic, as he is partly Psychic, but Reticons has 3 energies, so I guess this teleport would help you forego that if you have at least 1 Psychic energy on him. And you can put a bunch of other stuff on there that you don't need, just get a bunch more. Legend has it that, on rare occasions, one of its heads will drop off and continue as an execute. Level 35. I don't know if I believe that. That sounds crazy. But, it could be. I don't know if I'm gonna hit all these in one sitting, you guys. My legs are already hurting from the weird position I have chosen. I can do it a bit longer, I guess. Ideally, I'd like to record all in one shot, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So I just wanted to have my phone here so I can check the time a little easier. And hold on a sec, I'm going to grab another sody. So that's gonna be loud. I'm quite sorry about that. We'll take the fire Pokemon here. I'm gonna have to pee also. I might have to take a quick stop and pee before this is done. We'll see. Perhaps drinking more soda will make me not want to pee. Let's hit the fire taps. Right off the gate, we got ourselves a Charmander. 50 HP, that's a fire type, baby. Look what he did. This is why there are forest fires. Lizard Pokemon. Length 2 feet, 0 inches. Weight 19 pounds. Any energy can use Scratch for 10. Yeah, my leg is really bugging me. Because I want to like prop it up on something here, but I sort of can't. And Ember, with a fire and any energy, is discard, that's 30, but discard 1 fire energy and attach Charmander in order to use this attack. So he kind of is a drain on resources, but he can do a lot of damage for a basic. Weakness is water, no resistance. Tree cost is normal. Again, I feel like they maybe could have made some of these like you can resist your own type, but I guess they thought that would be too much, too involved. And so like that's why it's usually like if you resist something, it's usually, I think it's almost always resistances. It is minus 30 from an attack. And I think that also, just like the way something that is a weakness is always double. And also I think they tried to keep it pretty basic, so it wasn't as involved. So it's like more of the basic stuff and how they work. I don't know, some of it's a little more involved, but I think they did try to make it a little more simplistic for the typings. So it's like, well, wouldn't he also be able to resist like grass also, right? Because well, some of those are poison. But I do think that it should be able to maybe resist fire, like electricity should be able to resist electricity because it's not very effective. But I may leaned more towards, I don't know, I'm crazy. I know. It just seems kind of weird to me. That they could have easily done it like fire, honestly, would resist because every fire type is just fire, so why couldn't it resist itself? I don't know. Maybe it's just because they also wanted some of these to be able to damage themselves. Merchie cost is 1. And obviously prefers hot places. If it gets caught in the rain, steam is said to rise from the tip of its tail. Level 10. Oop. Maybe I can make this a little better here. If I hold on, I'm trying to raise the pod here. What the hell? There we go. Alright. Maybe that'll help a little more. Better perspective and everything. Look at that. You see all this stuff. Shadow's probably still going to be in the way though, isn't it? Yeah, a little bit. Next up we have a different kind of Charmander. A new kind of Charmander. Just put that up a little bit more. So it's easier to position my hand for it. There we go. Pokemon power, gather fire, once during your turn. Before you attack, you may take one fire energy card attached to one of your other Pokemon and attach it to Charmander. This power can't be used if Charmander is asleep, confused, or paralyzed. And he uses Fire Tail and 20 damage. So I think the only reason you'd want to do this is because of like... Oh, maybe I do want it more down. I don't know. I think the only reason you want to do that is if like you just put it out, and it's like you want it to attack right away, you can move fire energy from someone else and keep, you know, you don't need as many fire energies to dedicate to each one. Sorry about the shadow. That fix it a little more. So very slightly more. And its weakness is water. No resistance. Tree cost is 1. Many people find it cute and try to hold it, only to be burned by its tail. Level 9. Level 9. Oh, another one of those. Charmeleon. All from a Charmander. It's got 80 HP. 3 of anything to use Slash for 30. And 2 fires and anything. Discard 1 fire energy and attach to Charmeleon in order to use this attack. You do 50. That's maybe why you'd want to have that other Charmander to keep bringing in a bunch of extra. Is that the corner? Oh, the corner's a little afraid in this one. To bring extra. Energies on it to put it there. When it swings, its burning tail it raises the temperature to unbearably high levels. Level 32. Also, the back of all the cards look like this, so you can't tell what's what when they're flipped over. Just you can see what that looks like. Pretty rad. Some of these, yeah, are not. This card is in pretty rough shape. It's very beat up. There's one in better shape of the exact same thing next to it, but I showed you that one because it was on top. Oh, it's Ponyta with 40 HP. Fire Horse Pokemon, length 3 feet 3 inches, weight 66 pounds. Use 2 of anything to use a Smash Kick, which does 20, or 2 fires to do Flame Tail, which does 30. Pretty basic stuff, I suppose. Weakness is water, resistance nothing, and retreat cost is 1. Its hooves are 10 times harder than diamonds. It can trample anything flat in moments. Level 10. But of course, Ponyta evolves. And here we have Blaine's Rapidash, which has 70 HP. What a majestic creature it is. Fire Horse Pokemon. 5 feet, length 5 feet 7 inches, weight 209 pounds. Sorry for his nibblings. Use Flame Mane with 1 fire energy to use Flame Mane with 20 damage. Damn. And if you have 1 fire energy and 2 of any others, you can do Stamp, which is 30 plus. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 30 damage. That's 30. Hold on. I'm starting to get really annoyed at that shadow. Just pushing this up help? More? Yeah, I guess the shadow out of there. I'll leave it up here, I guess. So heads, it's fine. That's 30 damage plus 10 more damage to the defending Pokemon. And 10 damage to each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Don't apply resistance to weakness to benched Pokemon. If Tails, this attack does 30 damage to the defending Pokemon. So you can just hit the bench when you do it too. There's Blaine. Weakness is water. No resistance. Oh my god. There's also no retreat cost on level 31. That's a pretty crazy one. That seems like a little unfair. I mean, that would be super powerful. You have to build it up maybe. I don't know. That's banana sandwiches. You ever got like roll with? Sorry, I was showing so much blank space up there. Fire type has, I don't know why I said that, they're all fire types. 60 HP. Puppy Pokemon, length 2 feet 4 inches, weight 42 pounds. This is a little more comfortable right now for the moment. Fire and anything energy, you can use Flare for 20 damage, weakness, water, no resistance, retreat cost 1. Very protective of its territory. It will bark and bite to repel intruders from its space. Level 18. Have a few of these guys. But of course, Growlithe evolves into Arcanine with 100 HP. Dear God. This is a legendary Pokemon. Length 6 feet 3 inches, weight 342 pounds. So use 2 flame energies and an anything energy. You can do 50 damage with the flamethrower. Discard 1 fire energy. Card attached to Arcanine in order to use this attack. Just like with actually on Charmeleon, was it 2 fire? Let me look at that quick. Was it exactly the same requirements too for Charmeleon? Yeah, it was. Okay, just want to make sure so that they are exactly the same attacks. Then it has takedown with 2 fires and 2 normals, or 2 fires and 2 anything. So it's 80, and Arcanine does 30 damage to itself, which has that HP to work with. So weakness is water, no resistance, retreat cost is 3. A Pokemon that has been long admired for its beauty. It runs gracefully, as if on wings, level 45. Sorry, it keeps autofocusing. It does that all the time, and there's probably a way to shut it off that I've never known how to do. But especially when you keep moving stuff, and my hand isn't the steadiest thing in the... I almost said in the planet, but in the world, on the planet. Here's Magmar. Got 70 HP. He's having a day. He's over here, you know. He's not feeling so hot. I mean, he's over here. It's just like, it's over. I have the high ground. He is a Spitfire Pokemon. Length 4 feet 3 inches. Weight 98 pounds. 1 fire energy. You do 10 damage with Smokescreen. As the defending Pokemon tries to attack during your opponent's next turn, your opponent flips a coin and tails. The attack does nothing. And then 2 fire energies for Smog. Basically, this is the same as Smokescreen. Basically, it's interesting. This is the same as Coughing had. I believe it was the Coughing. I think it was Code's Coughing even, right? But it uses a fire energy because you're a fire Pokemon. So that's vaguely interesting, whereas like sometimes the normal-ish type move will take like any energies. 2 fire energies, you can use Smog. Which does 20 damage, flip a coin if heads, the defending Pokemon is not paralyzed. Weakness is water, no resistance, retreat cost 1. Found at the mouths of volcanoes and extremely hard to spot. There are very few instances of capturing this Pokemon. Level 31. I don't know, I always thought he was kind of cool because he was like rare. And he was a cool fire thing, and there weren't tons of fire Pokemon in the game, so it was always kind of cool to see him. and especially like a rarer one that doesn't show up that much. And he's sort of in that family of Pokemon. Like some of these, I feel like they're sort of like little families of Pokemon that are sort of related. And I feel like he's sort of related to like you got like Magmar, Electabuzz, and like Jinx are all sort of in this little family of Pokemon. I feel like. So I don't know. He always seemed kind of cool. And I always kind of like wanted one of him because he just seemed like he was. Also, for a long time, I thought he was a psychic type, but he's not. I don't know why. That would be cool. The idea of Fire Psychic is cool, but it's just like he wasn't. So that was a shame. Here's another Magmar with 50 HP. He's just kind of hanging out. He just happens to be in front of a weird background. He doesn't really feel like he's actually there. And he's pretty sad about it. He's like, I loved you this much, and you betrayed me. With 2 fire energies, you can use Fire Punch, where 30 damage, or the Flamethrower thing again. Weakness is water, no resistance, and retreat cost is 2. Its body always burns with an orange glow that enables it to hide perfectly among flames. Level 24. Here we've got Vulpix. It's Vulpix. HP 50. It's all shiny and shit. I got a shiny Vulpix. Fox Pokemon. Length 2 feet, no inches. Weight 20 pounds. Confuse Ray with 2 fire energies. Does 10 damage and flip a coin if heads the defending Pokemon is now confused. There aren't as many moves here that. Basically, what it seems like a lot of the. I've been noticing. Is that a lot of the moves are like. It does straight damage. It does. Usually, if it just does straight damage, it does more damage. If it has a secondary effect, it sometimes does less. And if it's like a status effect and damage, you have to flip a coin usually. But if it's just a status effect, then it's like it always works. Weakness is water. Resistance nothing. Retreat cost 1. At the time of birth, it has just 1 tail. The tail splits from the tip and grows older. Level 11. Last one in the Fire Bunch that I have here, the Fire Bunch, is a real doozy. You may know it as Moltres, 70 HP, and it's a basic Pokemon. It's just like a legendary. It's crazy. Oh no. Flame Pokemon. It's 6 feet 7 inches, 132 pounds. With 1 fire energy, it does Wildfire, which you may discard any number of fire energy cards attached to Moltres when you use this attack. If you do, discard that many cards from the top of your opponent's deck. So, fuck that. I wouldn't bother, but that's just me. I also think it might be another... Actually, that might be another thing, too. Another win condition, I think, is if your opponent runs out of cards, and you can't draw any more cards. I think at that point, you win. So if you're out of cards and can't draw anymore, you lose. So you don't want to have too many cards based on drawing more cards, because then you just spend all your time gathering up your whole deck into your hand, and then it's like, oh, my deck's going to run out really fast. So there's like that as well. If you have 4 fire energies, you can use Dive Bomb, which is 80, and flip a coin. If tails, this attack does nothing. This is a dickhole of a Pokemon to play around with. Now it's got no... Wow, I didn't realize that. It has no weakness, which is probably the other point to balance it a bit. So you can't rely on your water to fight this fudger. And it resists fighting for 30. Which cost is 2 energies, and known as the legendary Bird of Fire. Every flap of its wings creates a dazzling flash of flames. Level 35. Where in... You can't find level 35 in the game, man. How do you find level 35 Moltres? So it's 50, bro. So it's 50, bro. These times like this, you gotta ask these card makers. You gotta go to them and you gotta say, bro, do you even Pokemon? To which they can only logically respond with either no or get out of my office. I went to their office to tell them. I don't know why. And here we have Misty's favorite Pokemon. Misty Psyduck. We're on the water types, ladies and gentlemen. 60 HP. That is 6, right? Yeah. Duck Pokemon. More like Puck Dokemon, am I right? Length 2 feet 7 inches, weight of 43 pounds. With 1 psychic energy, you can use ESP. Flip 3 coins. If exactly one is heads, draw a card. If exactly 2 are heads, this attack does 20 damage. If all 3 are heads, choose one of the defending Pokemon's attacks. Misty Psyduck copies that attack except for its energy costs. No matter what type of the defending Pokemon is, Misty Psyduck's type is still water. And I think that's to bring up the fact that, yeah, your attacks are not based on the attack, unlike in the actual main games. So, like, I'm not using moves that's typically, for example, like that, like with Magmar, we saw a new Smokescreen, and like whatever new Smog is like, that was the one where that's typically a poison move. But in here, whenever you use an attack, its damage is based on the type of the attacking Pokemon. So, since it's like I said, since Psyduck is water type, even if it copies the type of, say, or copies a move from like a this is a bad example, isn't it? What resists water? Nothing, does it? I don't even think grass resisted water. But it's like, yeah, I don't know. Basically, like, if I copied a fire move, it wouldn't, like, it would still be super effective because it's still weak to water. I'm still water. Whereas, even though it's that move, because I'm using it, it becomes a water move. The moves are the type of the Pokemon using them, not of the moves themselves. I'm great at explaining things. This is why I should write instruction manuals. That's like moving nose. There's Misty. Great impression. Its weakness is grass. That's interesting. I guess I thought it'd mostly be electric. Maybe it's flip-flops for some. No resistance. And tree cost is 1 energy. It's level 18. That's Misty's Psyduck for you. But here's a not so Misty's Psyduck. It's just a regular Psyduck. He's having a day. 50 HP. If you give it 1 psychic energy, it does dizziness, which draws a card. With a water and something else, you can use Water Gun 20 plus. Does 20 damage plus 10 more damage for each water energy attached to Psyduck, but not used as pay for the attack. You can't add more than 20 damage in this way. So basically, if you have a water energy and something else, even if you had 2 water energies, it would still be counting as towards the attack. And so you only do the 20. You do an extra 10 if you added any other energy to it, because you only need that other energy and a water, and you already had that first water on there anyways, so you'd have 2 waters, so you get the idea. And I guess, yeah, you can't just keep doing it infinitely. This Psyduck's weakness is electric, which is what I expected most of them to be. So it's interesting that the other Psyduck is weak to grass and not electric. That could be used in your favor as well. No resistance, retreat cost 1. It is often seen holding its head in its paws, as if it were suffering from a headache. Level 16. Oh, but this is not the only gym leader that has a Psyduck situation. Sabrina's Psyduck with 50 HP. How intimidating does that look? With anything, you can use Scratch. Again, that's like a normal move, but because I'm a water type, using it makes it a water move, because that's me. If you get a psychic energy on it, you can use random ESP 20. Flip a coin of heads. Defending Pokemon is now confused if Tails' attack does no damage, and Sabrina's Psyduck is now confused. There's Sabrina. Weakness is electric, no resistance. Retreat cost is 1, level 16. And I have 2 of those, apparently. But wait, there's more. There's also a rather sad-looking Psyduck with 50 HP. And you can use the Psychic Energy to use Headache. Your opponent can't play trainer cards during his or her next turn. And a Water Energy to use Fury Swipes 10 times with 3 coins. If the attack does 10 damage, times the number of heads. Weakness electric, resistance nothing, which cost 1. While lulling its enemies with its vacant look, this silly Pokemon will use Psychokinetic powers level 15. 3 of those kinds of ducks. Now yourself a Golduck, despite it not being gold. It's 70 HP. Duck Pokemon, length 5 feet 7 inches, weight 169 pounds. If you use a Psychic Energy on it, it does Psyshock for 10. Flip a coin. If heads, the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. And if you have 2 Water Energies and something else, you can do 20 damage with Hyper Beam. If the defending Pokemon has any energy cards attached to it, choose one of them and discard it. Oh, that's pretty powerful. That's a pretty crazy move. Not quite what I think of when I think of Hyper Beam, but wow. Also, again, like ideally, you'd probably want to have 2 Water Energies and a Psychic Energy on this to make it fully functional and not waste resources. Weakness is electric. No resistance. Retreat cost is still 1. And often seen swimming elegantly by lake shores. It is often mistaken for the Japanese monster Kappa. Level 27. A couple of those. And when we're talking like starter stuff, I think you get one of these in the demo pretty much. You play with one of these in the... I think I played a little bit on the PC. I think there might have been a trading card game on there too, like a CD-ROM version for a bit. I feel like this is something I played a few times with that. And it may either been that or the Game Boy game, I don't remember specifically, but one of the most basic of basic Pokemon for learning here. We have Goldeen. 40 HP. And mostly, I mean, look, okay, hold on. Goldfish Pokemon, length 2 feet 0 inches, weight 33 pounds. I think it's mostly because, yeah, it's like, all it needs is 1 Water Energy and uses Horn Attack for 10. It's very, very simple. It has no retreat cost or resistance, but it's weak to electric. Its tail fin billows like an elegant ballroom dress, giving it the nickname Water Queen, level 12. And yeah, it's just like, it's so simplistic and basic that they throw this on there. I think Sea King, if I have one in here, we'll see. Sea King also. But it's like so basic, and it's an easy learning tool to try this out. A bunch of Goldeen. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Goldeen. And we do have a Sea King here, which evolves from Goldeen. It's got 70 HP. Goldfish Pokemon, length 4 feet 3 inches, weight 86 pounds. And with that 1 Water Energy you already have in it, it can do Horn Attack for 10. And if you put some other energy on it, it can use Waterfall for 30, teaching you how the colorless energy thing works. And just doing more damage, no crazy effects. Same weakness. Has a retreat cost now, so you learned about retreat costs, but still no resistances. And in the autumn spawning season, they can be seen swimming powerfully up rivers and creeks, level 28. So I feel like these two were kind of made, this is like a starter Pokemon for sure, or they threw that out there to be like, this is how you learn the game. So they're very, they're solid, they're consistent, they're easy. There's not really much strategy involved with them. Here we have a Squirtle with 50 HP in the underwater where it's really dark and he looks kind of freaked out. that's just me. Tiny turtle Pokemon. Length 1 foot 8 inches. Weight 20 pounds. Using 2 of any energies, you can use Shell Attack for 20. Weakness is Electricity. Resistance nothing. Which cost 1. Cute Pokemon that charms people with his innocent eyes. Loves swimming all day long, level 16. So that's kind of interesting in that you can just put anything on it and it'll work. As a random throw-in to still work with other Pokemon decks, I suppose. But if you still want to have like water in there just for the typing, then you can put anything on it and it'll still work with it. Here we have this Squirtle with 40 HP. Using Bubble. Attack is Bubble, which does 10, and flip a coin if heads, the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. Water and something else. You can do Withdraw. Flip a coin if heads, prevent all damage done next turn. During your opponent's next turn, and that's all the effects still happen. Weakness is Electricity, no resistance, which costs 1. After birth, its bag swells and hardens into a shell. It powerfully sprays foam. Oh, it's Mo, level 8. That's only level 8. Bunch of those. 3 of those. Squirtly squirts. Now this is a weird one. This is a weird one here. We have a Dark Wartortle. 60 HP. And, yeah, it's weird because it's like, well, this is before Dark types, I believe. I don't know if this was actually pre-Gen 2 or not when these cards came out. I feel like it is because the Gen 2 ones weren't part of these packs yet. But it was like, it's weird to have that, and I don't know what the darkness really entails for this, but there are a few, I think a couple other at least, dark Pokemon here, in here that I saw, and I don't know what the darkness entails in them. But here they are. Here's the Turtle Pokemon, length 3 feet 3 inches, weight 50 pounds. If you use water energy, you can use Double Slap 10 times, flip 2 coins, attack and damage on a number of heads. And it has water and anything else. Mirror Shell. If an attack does damage to Dark Wartortle during your opponent's next turn, even if Dark Wartortle is knocked out, Dark Wartortle attacks the defending Pokemon for an equal amount of damage. So that could be pretty tough, where it's like, oh, they have this move that's going to do tons of damage. But if you find something that's really good against you, you can sort of throw that out there to sacrifice yourself in order to have the thing destroy itself or have to, bide its time and not do anything. And I also forget, but I think you can play... we'll see in the rules, I suppose. I feel like for trainer cards, you can play a trainer card, and you can play like any number of trainer cards, I think. I don't know. And I think it's like, I don't know if it's only one trainer card or any number of trainer cards per turn, I forget. On your turn, it might be any number, I forget that rule of it. And like, yeah, there's a lot of things for that, like you can only attach like 1 energy per turn unless your card allows you, or a power or something else allows you extra stuff. Anyways, our weakness electric, resistance nothing, there's that. Tree cost is 1. A Pokemon with a negative attitude, it hides in its shell whenever it's in a bad mood, which is often. Level 21. There you go. Next we got ourselves Misty's Poliwag with 50 HP. This is the Tadpole Pokemon, length 2 feet 0 inches, weight 27 pounds. Bubbles 20. Flip a coin if tails. This is different than Bubble. It's Bubbles. Flip a coin if tails. You can't use this attack during your next turn. 2 water energies is Amnesia. Choose one of the defending Pokemon's attacks. That Pokemon can't use that attack during your opponent's next turn. That's kind of neat, like it forgets it for a turn. Which would make more sense with Amnesia than getting... I don't know why getting Amnesia makes your special raise in in the main games. I never understood that. There's Misty down there again. Maybe that's just the thing with Misty's Pokemon. It's level 16. And it's got no resistance. It's got Retreat cost 1. But the weakness is grass. And I think maybe all the weaknesses for her Pokemon are grass. Rather than electric, which is kind of an interesting idea to throw in there. And if that's the case, that's a quirk to learn. If you throw in a Misty's something or other, you're like, oh, I gotta use grass against that, not electric. But I think in the Game Boy game, I think you could build multiple decks after a while. You got the ability to do that, and you could use preset decks. You could customize your own decks and keep making those, and that was the whole thing. It was pretty cool. Here's a regular ass Poliwag with 40 HP. Water gun with 1 water energy, 10 plus. Does 10 damage plus 10 more for each water energy attached to Poliwag, but not used to pay for this attack's energy cost. Extra water energy after the second don't count. So basically means you can add up to 20 with this attack. Is what they're saying. They worded it better on that other card. Weakness is, oh, maybe not. Maybe it's just certain Pokemon. I don't know now. The weakness of this is grass. The resistance is nothing. Tree cost is 1. Its newly grown legs prevent it from running. It appears to prefer swimming over trying to stand. Level 13. I have like a couple of those. Okay, we have a Poliwhirl, 60 HP. Follows from that there Poliwag. This is also a tadpole Pokemon, like 3 feet 4 inches, weight 44 pounds. It also has amnesia, same as before, but it has double slap with 2 water energies and something else 30 times. Flip 2 coins, this attack does 30 damage times the number of heads, which is like, that's a lot of friggin' damage. You also can miss out on a lot of friggin' damage. It is not a reliable source of damage, which makes it sort of interesting. Weakness is also grass. Strange. Resistance, nothing. Tree cost, 1. Capable of living in or out of water. When out of water, it sweats to keep its body slimy. Level 28. Got 3 friggin' Poliwhirls. Holy ass. Hey, next up in the Trainer Series, Gym Leader Series, Misty's Staryu. With 30 HP. Is this? It's not a starfish, it's a star-shaped Pokemon. Length 2 feet 7 inches, weight 76 pounds. With 1 water energy, you can use Star Boomerang. 20 damage, flip a coin if heads. Return Misty Staryu and all cards attached to it to your hand. Either way, this attack does its damage. See, that's kind of weird. That is kind of weird to me, because then you'd have to keep placing it on your bench again and throwing it out there, and it seems like it would be a thing to keep, like, you have to keep putting it out, and you have to take a turn to put down and put an energy on it, and you have to have something else that can attack right away if you did that. That seems like a really weird call. But my theory on the Gym Leader thing is also shot here, because resistance to this is electric. Sorry, weakness is electric. No resistance, and the tree cost is 1, level 16. So, the more you know. Another somewhat basic one is another Staryu, but a normal Staryu now with 40 HP. Looks a little flat. You just use water energy and it uses slap for 20. And then weakness is electric, resistance nothing, retreat cost 1. An energetic Pokemon that can effortlessly regenerate any appendage it loses in battle. Level 15. Got a few of these, I think. Yep, a couple of those. And yeah, there's no Starmie here, so the Starmie was that last video exclusive peek. Go ahead and check that out if you'd like. Around whatever numbered Starmie was. You'll find it. Why are you so mad at me about that? You seem awfully crabby. 50 HP. It's a river crab Pokemon, length 1 foot 4 inches, weight 14 pounds. With 1 water energy, you can call for family, which is search your deck like the other call for family, but it's for basic Pokemon named Krabby, and you put it on your bench. Using a water and something else, you can do Iron Grip for 20, weakness electric, no resistance, but retreat cost is 2, that's kind of interesting. Its pincers are not only powerful weapons, they are used for balance when walking sideways. Level 20. Krabby. So fast. Krabby. Here we have Tentacool with 50 HP. Also a type poison, but you know, it's got water because it's mostly water. Jellyfish Pokemon, length 2 feet 11 inches, weight 100 pounds. Holy shit. Now its Pokemon power is Cowardice. At any time during your turn before your attack, you may return Tentacool to your hand, discard all cards attached to Tentacool. This power can't be used the turn you put Tentacool into play, or if Tentacool is asleep, confused, or paralyzed. So you can just, like, you have to ditch the energies, but you can, if you're looking bad, you can just pull them back out. That's crazy, and it doesn't take up spots on your bench or anything either, because it's not really a retreat. Oh, here's 1 water energy to do acid for 10. Which again, that sounds like a poison move, but it's a water Pokemon. Resistance, weakness is electric, no resistance. Retreat cost nothing, so you can just take it off if you want. It's very interesting. Drifts in shallow seas. Anglers who hook them by accident are often punished by its stinging acid. Level 10. Which evolves into Tentacruel. Bigger, better. 60 HP. This is jellyfish Pokemon, length 5 feet 3 inches, weight 121 pounds. With 1 water energy, you can use Supersonic of a coin if heads of the defending Pokemon is now confused, which takes away from my theory of they're usually, I guess I said usually. This is one instance where that move where it doesn't do any damage, but does a status effect, also still is random. It's up to chance. Then 2 water energies to use Jellyfish Sting. 10 damage, and the defending Pokemon is now poisoned. That's pretty nice. Wow. Its weakness is electric, resistance is nothing, but also its retreat cost is still nothing. That's pretty crazy for an evolved Pokemon to have nothing. The tentacles are normally kept short. On hunts, they are extended to ensnare and immobilize prey. Level 21. See how the next stack goes. I might stop after that. Shelder. 30 HP. It's a pretty weak one. It's one of the lowest HPs I think we've seen so far. It's a Bivalve Pokemon, length 1 foot 0 inches, weight 9 pounds. 1 water energy to use Supersonic. We already saw that. And 1 to use Hide and Shell, and if it his heads, he can prevent any damage. Okay, weakness is electric, no resistance, retreat cost is 1. Its hard shell repels any kind of attack. It is vulnerable only when the shell is open, level 8. If you want to see Cloyster, that's also a last video exclusive. Sorry about that. Here we have a Magikarp, everybody's favorite, also 30 HP. It's a fish Pokemon, length 2 feet 11 inches, weight 22 pounds. Using any energy, you can use Tackle for 10. And with the water, we can use Flail, which is 10 times. Does 10 times damage times the number of heads. 10 times the number of damage counters on Magikarp. Which doesn't mean much when you only have 30 damage. You only do an extra 20 with that. That does not want to focus on that 30 because it's the colorization or something with it. It's just like it doesn't want to focus off my camera's colors. Weakness is electric, no resistance, retreat cost 1. And the distant past, it was stronger than its horribly weak descendants. That equals 2-day. Level 8. And the last one from this stack is Misty's Dugong. I believe the seal card was also in the other thing, so I did have a way to evolve to this. I don't now because it's in there. But what can you do? I'm not taking it back. Misty's Dugong. 80 HP. Welcome to Seal, though. You can see right there. That's pretty. Sea Line Pokemon. Length 5 feet 7 inches. Weight 265 pounds. 2 water energies. Can use 20 damage for Ice Throw. If the defending Pokemon is fighting, the attack's base damage is doubled, so you do 40. Holy crap. I think they say base damage because that's before applying strengths and weaknesses, I believe. Weaknesses and resistances. Meaning that normally it would be like to a fire Pokemon, say, it would be 20, which would be doubled to 40. But if it doubles its base damage, then it would always do... I guess it wouldn't work because it's only against a fighting type. So yeah, it's like, against a fighting type it normally would be 20. But then it like does 40 because it doubles the base damage. And I guess if there are some other calculations to be made based on how much damage you do, I guess, I don't know. It comes into play somehow. I just can't think of the proper scenario where that would matter. Essentially just giving you more type advantages, I guess. Then we have Water Energy and 3 of anything to use Takedown. For 40, MSG Dugong does 20 damage to itself. Weakness is Electric, no resistance, and the retreat cost is 2 energies. Oh, 40. That's all for the water types. I think I might try this one more stack here. Looks like a slightly smaller stack. Then I might be done, or at least take a break, I don't know. Maybe I'll try to power through and finish all the stacks. There is a lot of stuff there, though. We'll see. Alright, let's do the Psychic. First up we have Sabrina's Abra with 50 HP. It is a Psy Pokemon, length 2 feet 11 inches, weight 43 pounds. With 1 Psychic Energy, you can use Psy Scan. Look at your opponent's hand so you see what they have. Okay. And also, you can use Quick Attack. Flip 10 plus. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 10 damage plus 20 more damage. If tails, this attack does 10 damage. It's fair that it doesn't go first or anything. This is really bizarre to me. Weakness is Psychic. Resistance is nothing. Retreat cost is that. And I think... it was 1. And I think the reason they did this is because... because Ghost Pokemon are supposed to be good against Psychic. So instead of having Psychic be weak or resist other Psychic types, they made it so that... that it would be like, kind of like Ghost one would be good against the Psychic. And also, I guess, this is where some of that stuff comes into play, where like, if you do damage to yourself with certain moves, you would then do twice that to yourself because you're Psychic. If you're Psychic and your weakness is Psychic. So it's really bizarre. I think it's also partly a way of balancing the Psychic type. And I think it maybe goes a little far in this game towards making it harder for it. But then it is sort of like definitely a risk-reward thing. It's like, do you fight a Psychic, someone using a Psychic deck with your own Psychic deck? Because it's kind of the same advantages and disadvantages with that. And there's not really another counter for them, so... how are you going to plan on trying to go about that, I guess. It's interesting. Sort of interesting, but also kind of strange at the same time. It's level 18. We have a different Abra, which has 40 HP. It's a cutified one. It's on a roof. For some reason. I don't know what they are. With 1 Psychic Energy, you can use Vanish. Shuffle Abra into your deck, discard all cards attached to Abra. I guess it's kind of like, almost like a teleport, just get you the hell out of there, save your Abra from dying. And also can use it again. And then the also use Psy Shock, which has 10 to flip a coin of heads. The defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. Weakness Psychic, resistance nothing, retreat cost 1. It teleports itself away from danger, making it difficult to capture. Level 14. You got that right. Well, look, another Abra with only 30 HP. Yeah, it's harder to see. By a tree. Psyshock is the same as before, it's just less things than the other one. Though its weakness is the same, no resistance, but it has a no retreat cost. Using its ability to read minds, it will identify impending danger and teleport to safety. Level 10. 4 of those freaking things. And we have Sabrina's Ghastly with 40 HP. And we see that's a ghost type. It's also type poison. But to go with the ghost type, they've converted it to psychic. Again, part of the whole balancing act, I suppose. Gas Pokemon. Length 4, which also, again, like as a gas Pokemon, totally like a dead cat, coughing. Length 4 feet 3 inches. Weight 0.2 pounds. Its Pokemon power is gaseous form. Sabrina's Ghastly gets plus 10 HP for each psychic energy card attached to it. This power works even if Sabrina's Ghastly is asleep, confused, or paralyzed. Now I think that means that its total HP is increased. It's easier to tell in the game for some of these rules and stuff because I don't necessarily know how exactly they're saying it works, and the game calculates it for you in the video game. 2 psychic energies let you use suffocating gas for 30. It has no weakness, which is probably part of why it's like ghost type here. No weakness means that psychic types are not going to be good against it, but it'll be good for fighting psychic types, so that must be why they did it. And its resistance is surprisingly not normal with fighting. I guess because there's certain other, like, flying and stuff, or sometimes in normal types. And so they wanted a little more specific, I guess, to some of the fighting for some reason. But, yeah. Negative 30. Retreat cost is 1. That's level 10. That's pretty cool. Here we have another Ghastly. This has 30 HP. Sleeping Gas with 1 psychic energy. Flip a coin. If heads, the defending Pokemon is now asleep. With psychic and whatever the fuck, you use Destiny Bond. Discard 1 psychic energy card attached to Ghastly in order to use this attack. If a Pokemon knocks out Ghastly during your opponent's next turn, knock out that Pokemon. So basically, yeah, you do that, and it's like, well, they can't kill you this turn unless they want to die also. Weakness is nothing. Resistance, nothing. Sorry, resistance is negative 30 for fighting. I don't know why I said nothing. Retreat cost is nothing. That's probably why I said it. Almost invisible, this gaseous Pokemon cloaks the target and puts it to sleep without notice. Level 8. Yeah, I'm gonna take a quick break, but I might not even... Possibly I might not even stop my recording if I do take a quick thing and then come back in. We'll see after this little stack here. Or whatever. You have a Hunter, which you evolve from the Ghastly. Look at it. This is also a gas Pokemon, I guess. Length 5 foot 3 inches, weight 0.02 pounds. Surprisingly the same. Psychic. Use Hypnosis. If you use 1 psychic energy on it, the depending Pokemon is now asleep. It just is asleep. 2 psychic energies. Dream Eater. Classic combination. Does 50 damage, and you can't use this attack unless the defending Pokemon is asleep. So it's weird that this doesn't heal you like Dream Eater would, the actual move. But that's interesting. No weakness, resistance to fighting, minus 30. And retreat cost is 1 energy. Because of its ability to slip through block walls, it is said to be from another dimension, level 22. And I guess... I don't know if there's anything else that... maybe it's because they wanted to specify that's what resistance means, I guess. But, like, yeah, it's weird that resistance isn't, like, just halved. Or... It's weird that it's flat. But it's also extra weird that they have to then specify, since they don't say times 2 next to weakness. But resistance, they'll say negative 30. It's just strange to me that they don't specify that. as clearly there as they do for the resistance, unless there's some other resistances that are more or less than that. But I don't know. If we see any, I guess we'll find out. Here is Sabrina's Drowsy with 50 HP, and he's giving us the finger hardcore. The not so subliminal fuck you hypnosis Pokemon. Length 3 feet 3 inches, weight 71 pounds. Use like energy to use suggestion, flip a coin if heads, depending Pokemon. Can't attack during your opponent's next turn. The power of suggestion. And then 2 of anything, you can use headbutt for 20. Weakness is psychic, resistance nothing, retreat cost is 1, level 15. Hey, look at that, we got another Drowsy. He's just kinda hanging out. 50 HP. With any energy, you can use Pound for 10. With 2 psychic energies, you can use Confuse Ray for 10. And flip a coin if heads, depending Pokemon is now confused. Weakness psychic, no resistance. Retreat cost is 1. Puts enemies to sleep, then eats their dreams. Occasionally, gets sick from eating bad dreams. Level 12. I'm gonna have another Drowsy here with 50 HP. Looking up at us, they're like, whoa, raising the roof, and we are, the camera is roof cam. We have been risen. It's Pokemon Power, Long Distance Hypnosis. Once during your turn, before your attack, you may flip a coin if heads the defending Pokemon is now asleep. If tails, your active Pokemon is now asleep. The power can't be used if Drowsy is asleep, confused, or paralyzed. That would be really annoying, I guess, but I guess it's because it can happen to you too. They balanced it, I suppose. And then 1 Psychic Energy and 1 of anything else. You can use Nightmare for 10. And the defending Pokemon is now asleep, so why wouldn't you just do that instead? Unless you were scared that that was gonna... Well, yeah, I guess if you just don't have enough energies yet, you might as well just do that in the meantime. Weakness to Psychic, no resistance, retreat cost 1. Not popular with girls because of its attitude. Can often be heard muttering to itself in low voice. Level 10. That's creepity. Drowsy, you're a creepity creep. Creepity creep. And yeah, I think it was maybe just that we didn't have that one variant. Maybe we did. Maybe we did. In the booklet, I feel like we did. But here is a Slowpoke. Psychic type. It's also type water, but here they've used it as a psychic type. It is a dopey Pokemon. Length 3 feet 11 inches, weight 79 pounds. A slightly different look to this card a little bit with the shininess of that. Actually, yeah, it's pretty different. Use Psychic Energy to use Psyshock, and you can paralyze. I've seen that. A Water Gun with a Water Energy because it's part Water type. Though that attack will still be an Electric type, or a Psychic type attack because he's a Psychic type Pokemon. Does 10 plus, does 10 damage plus 10 more for each Water Energy attached to Slowpoke, but not used with tag. They can't do more than 20. I see there's little like swooshes over these. I don't know why necessarily that is, but it's got weakness to Psychic, no resistance, and retreat cost is 1. I think this is just done a little bit later or something, maybe, I don't know. It lazes vacantly near water. If something bites its tail, it won't even notice for a whole day. Level 20. So yeah, I don't know, it's a slightly different design to that, I think. Looking at the swipes, swooshes. I don't know what that indicates, there's probably some cool history to that. I didn't notice this, and I'm probably not going to start reading all these because I can't pronounce that for shit, but on the bottom left corners of all these, it actually says the illustrator's name who did the pictures. So that's cool. If I had done that from the start, maybe I would have done that, but I didn't, so I'm not going to start now. But if you have those cards, go ahead and look down at those. And I don't know, if you guys have illustrated for these cards and you contact me and you're like, hey, I illustrated these cards, you should show them. I could show them, I guess, but like, I don't know. I did every other piece of information on the card. I should have done that, but I just didn't really realize it because I thought it was part of the rights and all that information down there. Here's another Slowpoke with 50 HP. More of a cartoony children's book look to it. Any energy you can have to do nap and search your deck for a psychic energy card. Attach it to Slowpoke. Shuffle your deck afterward. With a psychic energy, you can just headbutt for 10. Weakness psychic, resistance nothing, or she cost 1. Although it knows how to fish, no other intelligent behavior has been detected in it. Level 16. Of course, evolves into Slowpoke with 60 HP. This is actually a Hermit Crab Pokemon. Length 3 feet, 5 feet 3 inches, weight 113 pounds. Pokemon power is Strange Behavior. As often as you like during your turn, before your attack, you may move one damage counter from one of your Pokemon to Slowbro as long as you don't knock out Slowbro. This power can be used with Slowbro to sleep, confused, or paralyzed. I sort of remember using that one a lot when I played. I think I had it on my deck. I remember liking that in that one thing because I was like, you would use that. And then, like, basically, if you had, like, heals and stuff, you can move that stuff onto Slowbro. And then, before your attack, or whatever, before you do stuff, you just move a bunch of stuff onto Slowbro and then heal it. Or move stuff off of somebody else you don't want to die, that you may be retreated or something. Or maybe somebody on the bench who's about to faint, and put it on Slowbro instead. That's kind of a neat tool. And then two psychic energies you can use. Psyshock for 20. Little coin if their heads are paralyzed. Weaknesses. Psychic, no resistance. She costs 1. The shoulder that is attached to Slowbro's tail is said to feed on the host's leftover scraps. Level 26. And the final one before my short intermediation. What intermediation was that? Intermission is the word I was thinking of. But I'm taking a quick break here, I think. I probably will just finish up all the cards tonight. I'm thinking, but hold on. In this one setting. Lastly, we have Jinx, who is. He's got Jinx at 70 HP. I think that's pretty much straight up still the blackface one from the original and not redone yet. I don't know. There's the. I'm colorblind, so it could be just a dark purple. I don't know. But here's the thing. Jinx is also kind of interesting in that it's like, it's an ice type and a psychic type. But I guess because ice turns into water, they figured, well, it already is psychic, and we have enough water type, so we'll just use the type it actually is. Plus, we need more of, I guess. That's what I'm thinking. It is a human-shaped Pokemon. What a lazy. Length 4 feet 7 inches, weight 90 pounds. 10 times with 1 psychic energy to do double slap. So 2 coins. This attack does 10 damage on a number of heads. 2 psychic energies and whatever does 20 plus with meditate. Does 20 damage plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on the defending Pokemon. So apparently it just does more for the damage that's already on them. That's rough. Its weakness is psychic. No resistance, or chi cost is 2. Merely by meditating, the Pokemon launches a powerful psychic energy attack, level 23 or 124. Why I said a number, I didn't say it for any of the other ones. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick potty break. But here's the thing, to keep it so there's less jumps, because it jumps every so often because only so much space for one clip. I'm just going to leave this running, so when I come back, it might get quieter or something, we'll see. But I'm going to come back and just in the same sitting try to finish at least all the cards. So, hang tight. Okay. Yes, at this point, I feel like I should bring up, I'm sorry for background noise. You probably heard some of that, like the toilet flushing is probably pretty loud. Bathroom's like right across the hall from my room. And if it's any other background noise, from here on out, it is getting past late into early, so yeah, if you hear other people waking up and such, sorry, I can't help that. But somebody did, I noticed, commented on my Instagram, which if you haven't seen it, it's Samuel Ryan Lilly, SamuelRyanLilly. You check that out. For posts on all kinds of stuff that I'm playing, usually until I get up to this point, until I post it or something. You can follow me there if you want, but they commented on one of my posts from playing Pokemon Yellow. I think that's probably the first time I've ever seen anybody say they're jealous of something I post, even just because of the fact that I have a version of Pokemon Yellow that's working, and theirs isn't. I never heard anyone really, I don't know, say that also about my Instagram posts. Also, I've never, I don't get much interaction there anyways, so somebody who's actually saying something on one of my posts that isn't just a generic nice one or a bunch of emoji and probably was just a bot program posting it anyways is appreciated. Alright. Well, let's move on with the next part of our 7-hour video. Again, if I have to do this in lower quality, I'm sorry. But these are pretty long, longer than I was expecting. Which long is good for ASMR. I like looking at this stuff. I just feel bad that it takes a long time to upload and save and everything, and so just so you guys know, if it doesn't show up right away, that's why. Because it took or if it's sort of low quality, it's because it took a lot to get it up there. Here we have another pretty basic one. Oh, no, this one actually. Never mind. Anyways, we're moving on to fighting types. So here we have Machop with 50 HP. It's a superpower Pokemon. Length 2 feet 7 inches. Weight 43 pounds. 2 of anything you can use Punch for 20. And a fighting and 2 of anything you can use Kick for 30. Pretty simple attacks there. Weakness is Psychic, no resistance, and retreat cost is 1. Its soul. It's said that not even pro wrestlers can take down a Machop. Level 42. 24. I'm bad. I don't know, I think they could. Here's the other basic one, that maybe this was one of the ones you use for the training stuff in one of those versions also, is this. It might have been the game has Machop. This Machop, which has 50 HP. He goes on a big old rock. His arm looks way too big for his body. Rule of mass. That's also superpower Pokemon, that's the same. You use only 1 fighting energy and it's low kick for 20. Again, simple stuff. It's got a weakness to Psychic, no resistance, retreat cost 1. Loves to build its muscles. It trains in all styles of martial arts to become even stronger, level 20. They left out the part about its, I got 5 of these. It's also like train its brain. I guess I figured that was stupid to include. As why would it care about that? Here's a Machoke with 80 HP. Got evolved from this little fellow. Also superpower Pokemon. Length 4 feet 11 inches. Weight 155 pounds. Use 2 fighting and 1 of anything to use. Do Karate Chop for 50 minus. Does 50 damage minus 10 damage for each damage counter on Machoke. So the more you get beat up, the less powerful you'll be with that. I suppose it wears you down? I don't know. With 2 fighting energies and 2 of anything, you can do Submission for 60. Machoke does 20 damage to itself. Weakness is Psychic, resistance none, but retreat cost is 3. Its muscular body is so powerful that it must wear a power save belt to help regulate its motions. level 40. So yeah, that's interesting. I guess once you take so much damage, essentially once you take 50 damage, your Cry Chop is useless. It's kind of an interesting concept. 4 of those suckers. I'm pretty sure we have some kind of fighting starter deck or something. It feels like there's a lot of these and a lot of fighting energies in the deck there. Sorry if I'm talking too fast and slurring too much. My brain is going a little faster than probably my mouth is able to run. Machamp is in the book. See the previous video to see Machamp. Here we have Brock's Diglett with 40 HP. A nice night for Brock's Diglett. It's a nice night to start again. It's a mole Pokemon. Length 0 feet 8 inches. Weight 2 pounds. Well, how can you really know? We don't know what's under the ground. With 1 fighting energy, you can use Surprise Attack for 20. If you have a Coin of Talents, this attack does nothing. With a fighting and whatever else, you can do Tremor for 40, which does 10 damage to each of your own benched Pokemon. Oh, it's a lot of damage, but it also hurts you, I see. Interesting. Weakness is Grass. Resistance is Electric, minus 30, because it's a ground type, but of course they made it a fighting here to fit into the type stuff. So that's how they kind of classified it. Retreat cost is 1 energy, it's level 13. There's Brock. Yeah. Damn it. I'm spinning on my glasses, hold on. Get off of here, you beast. You red beasted. Here's another Diglett. In like the other Slowpoke style. I should look at the illustrator for that. It looks like such a similar, really basic storybook kind of style thing. It's also kind of creepy, because this looks like a gigantic Diglett. Look at that, looks like it's huge. 40 HP. With 1 fighting energy, you can use Dig Under. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon. This attack does 10 damage to that Pokemon. Don't apply weakness or resistance for this attack. Any other effects would happen. Oh. So basically, I think the reason they worded it this way is because you can either attack the Pokemon that's out right now that you're fighting, or any of the benched ones. Rather than saying you can attack the opponent or it's benched, or it's, because it's not just benched or just the opponent. Yeah. And with the fighting and whatever the fuck else, you use Scratch for 20. Weakness is Grass. Resistance is Electric, minus 30. But no retreat cost. It follows Onyxes in their tunnels, looking for scraps of food they have left behind. Level 15. I did not know that. I think that is a new Poke fact. Here's another Diglett with 30 HP. Oh no. Oh no. They also sort of look like the mountains from Super Mario World. With 1 fighting energy, you can use Dig for 10, and with 2, you can use Mud Slap for 30. And on what planet is Mud Slap stronger than Dig? Weakness is Grass. Resistance is Electric, minus 30. No retreat cost. Lives about 3 feet underground, where it feeds on plant roots. It sometimes appears above ground. Oh, late. For those things, we have Blaine's Mankey. I guess I haven't got to the episode yet. Does Blaine have a Mankey? 40 HP. Pig monkey Pokemon, length 1 foot 8 inches, weight 62 pounds. With any energy, you can use Pranks. Flip a coin of heads, choose a card from your opponent's discard pile, and put it on top of his or her deck. Which I guess, that's really weird. The idea, I guess, is that you can pick something in there that's probably going to be useless to them now, and shove it up there, like if they're, say for instance, their bench is full now or something, I don't know, then you can throw a Pokemon in there that they can't place, or like throw something else they discarded, I don't know. but you can do it, and so like this could potentially help them. But what it basically does is you know what they're going to draw next turn, and while it does help them in the sense that then they get an extra card back, they're also not getting a new card that turn. They're getting a repeat of something they already had, and probably something you don't need. That's interesting. With a fighting energy, you can use Fury Swipes 10 times. 3 coins, dude. Yeah, I've already seen that. Weakness is Psychic, no resistance, no retreat cost. Level 14. There's Blaine. Here we have a really weird Mankey. Who, yeah. I don't know if that's supposed to be really hip, like dancing Mankey over there. Parappa the Rapid Dance. Or if you're like, man, Mankey, you're so cool. And he's like, oh, stop. With the hand gesture there. Well, 40 HP. Anything, you can use Mischief, which is shuffle your opponent's deck. I guess if they've used a card or something that, like, they can rearrange stuff on their deck or something like that. You could just do that, or if they've used a move or something to, like, look at their deck, you can use that and mess up what they've done, but it's very occasional use. With the fighting energy and whatever the fuck, you can use Anger for 20, plus flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 20 damage, plus 20 more damage. If tails, this attack does 20 damage. Weakness is Psychic, no resistance, no retreat cost. Normally friendly, it quickly becomes angry if it doesn't get what it wants. Level 14. Mankey, 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 Mankey. Ain't got nothing but Mankey. It is weak. Another Mankey with 30 HP. That's not too much HP, is it? No, not really, is it? Its Pokemon power is Peak. Once during your turn, before her attack, you may look at one of the following: the top card of either player's deck, a random card from your opponent's hand, or one of either player's prizes. This power can be used if Mankey is asleep, confused, or paralyzed. Use Scratch for 10 if you have any energy. Psychic's weakness, no resistance, no retreat cost. Extreme Quick Anger, it can be docile one moment, then thrashing away the next. Level 7. Then we have a Primeape, which evolves into this from Mankey, as you can see there. 70 HP. Pig Monkey Pokemon, length 3 feet 3 inches, weight 71 pounds. It's got 2 fighting energies to use Fury Swipes for 20 times with 3 coins. This attack does 20 damage times the number of heads. And 2 fighting and a whatever the fuck lets you use Tantrum for 50. Flip a coin. If tails, Primeape is now confused. Oh, okay. Similar to Thrash, I guess, something like that, but maybe Thrash is its own actual move and is slightly different than that. But it's a similar idea. Weakness is Psychic, no resistance, retreat cost is 1, always furious and tenacious to boot. It will abandon, so it will not abandon chasing the quarry until its quarry is caught. Level 35. Oh my god, it's a Cubone. 40 HP, looking up at the night sky. You think on the playground the other Pokemon are like, yo Cubone, yo mama's so dead, she's in the cemetery next to everybody. Lonely Pokemon, length 1 foot 4 inches, weight 14 pounds. Is something on the card there? Is that on my lens? I look like it's on the card. Get up there. I get it. With any energy, you can use Snivel. If the defending Pokemon attacks Cubone during your opponent's next turn, any damage done by the attack is reduced by 20 after applying weakness and resistance. Benching either Pokemon will end this effect. So yeah, it just like reduces it by 20, which means that if they have an attack that's weaker, basically you just use that to defend yourself until then they can do extra effects and stop it or something. I remember this being a really annoying thing to fight against. The 2 fighting energies uses Rage, just 10 plus. Does 10 damage plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on Cubone. Weakness is Grass. Resistance is Electric. Minus 30. Seems to be pretty much a kind of a trend for ground types so far. Your retreat cost is 1. Because it never removes the skull helmet. Its skull helmet, no one has ever seen this Pokemon's real face. Level 13. Cubone. Ain't got nothing but Cubone. He holds a Marowak. 60 HP. Look at that bone meringue. He's a bone keeper Pokemon. That's a thing. Length 3 feet 3 inches. Weight 99 pounds. Got 99 pounds, but a bone ain't one. I don't know. 2 fighting energies. You bone meringue for 30 times. Flip 2 coins, attack does 30 damage. There's number of heads. Oh. And then 2 of those plus or whatever the fuck. Just call for friend and search your deck for a fighting basic Pokemon card and put it into your onto your bench. Shuffle your deck afterward. You can't use this attack if your bench is full. Weakness is Grass. Resistance is Electric minus 30. Retreat costs 1. The bone it holds is its key weapon. It throws the bone skillfully, like a boomerang, to KO targets. Level 26. I think those are, let's say they did it for later Pokemon, I'm not sure now, but like, it was kind of, that was the thing. It was like, it was cool to have a Cubone and a Marowak and have them know, I mean, those are pretty decent moves, I think, too. It was like, have no Bone Club and Bone Meringue were just cool. They were just cool moves, man. Not like these sellout moves they got now, man. No, I don't know. Oh, God. I'm dying. We've got Brock Sandshrew with 40 HP. Mouse Pokemon. He is not a mouse, is he? Is a shrew a mouse? Maybe it is, and I'm a dumbass. At any rate, it looks like he's made out of bricks all the time. I think 2 feet, no inches. Weight, 26 pounds. With any kind of fucking energy, you can use Defense Curl. Flip a coin. If heads, prevent whole damage done to Brock Sandshrew during your opponent's next turn. Effects still happen. And if you have a fighting and anything else, you can use Rolling Attack for 20. Weakness is Grass. Resistance is Electric minus 30. Retreat cost 1. Level 13. There's Brock. There's Brock Lesnar's Sandshrew. It's Paul Heyman's Sandshrew. Sandshrew, 40 HP. With fighting energy, you can use Sand Attack, that's 10. If the defending Pokemon tries to attack during your opponent's next turn, your opponent flips a coin. If tails, that attack does nothing, kind of like the smoke screen thing. Weakness. Grass, Resistance, Electric, minus 30, again, the ground types. Retreat cost is 1. Burrows deep underground, in arid locations. Far from water. It only emerges to hunt for food. Level 12. Got a couple on that one. It's Brock's Geno Dude. 50 HP. Rock Pokemon length 1 foot 4 inches, weight 44 pounds. Fighting energy is Rock Toss. 10 times. Flip 3 coins. Attack does 10 damage times the number of heads. Kind of like fairy attack things, but with rocks. Weakness is Grass. This is interesting. It has no resistance, and the retreat cost is 1. Level 15. There's Rock. I think it's because this is rock and ground, and so they wanted to make it different than just the ground types. So because he's primarily he's like rock. They didn't have the resistance to electricity because rock is not resisted. Ground does. That's strange. That sucks for him. Sucks to be Geodude. You don't get any benefit either. This is also Brock's Geodude. I guess he has two. Or is it from a different point in time? I don't know. 40 HP. Did I say he was a rock Pokemon like 1 foot 4 inches, weigh 44 pounds? Well, now I did. When fighting energy, call for friend. Going to heads, you may search your deck, fetch a Pokemon card. Oh, with Brock in its name. You put it into your bench. Shuffle your deck afterward. You can't use its attack if your bench is full. So any other Brock's Pokemon you can throw into there. That's pretty cool. And then with the fighting energy and whatever the fuck, you can beat Link and use the hook shot, or play basketball for 20 damage. Don't apply resistance for this attack. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. That's really interesting. The other effects should happen after applying resistance. So what happened after applying resistance would happen. Cool. Weakness is grass. No resistance also. Energy cost is 1. Level 13. Interesting. Here's a Geodude. Like a normal ass. Geodude ass. Rocky motherfucker. PHP. Stone Barrage. With a fighting and whatever the fuck energy. You can use Stone Barrage for 10x. Flip a coin until you get tails. This is what I was talking about. Flip a coin until you get tails. This attack does 10 damage times the number of heads. So potentially you can just do this infinitely until you finally get tails and KO anything right away, which is super. It's chance based, but it's like a super helpful thing to use, especially as like one of the first ones you send out. Weakness is grass, no resistance. Tree cost is 1.
Found in fields and mountains. Mistaking them for boulders, people often step or trip on them. Level 16.
So that's a pretty tough one. I think Kangaskhan has a move like that too, like Comet Punch or something. Does it a ton of times. So like I don't know, but it's definitely one where it's like you get a good run of that and like you can sweep stuff and it can really be a game changer. So I kind of like using that, I guess. Here we have Kabuto. This is interesting. Stage 1, you need to have a trainer card, which we'll get to. And that trainer card is like the mysterious fossil, which works like a basic Pokemon. I think it only has like 10 HP or something like that, so it can be killed off of your bench pretty easily. But then you can turn it into certain Pokemon that evolve from the fossils, like Kabuto. It only has 30 HP. It's actually rock water type, but they just add 2 fighting here. Shellfish Pokemon. Maybe if you just, thought of someone other than yourself. You shellfish. Length 1 foot 8 inches, weight 25 pounds. Pokemon power. Kabuto armor. Whenever an attack, even your own, does damage to Kabuto after applying weakness and resistance, the attack only does half the damage to Kabuto, rounded down to the nearest 10. Any other effects of attacks will happen when this power stops working while Kabuto is asleep, confused, or paralyzed. That's pretty nice. Defend yourself. Scratch. For 10. Any energy, you can scratch for 10. So it's pretty much just setting up for a Kabutops, I think. Which I don't believe I have. Maybe if I did, I don't remember. I think I had the real card. In the trading one, I don't have the card here for it, so. You can't see. Weaknesses. Weaknesses, grass, which is. I guess that makes the most sense because it's not a ground type, but it is a rock and water. And so, that would be good against both of them. No resistance. Energy cost is 1. And a Pokemon that was resurrected from a fossil found in what was once the ocean floor eons ago. Level 9. Now, we don't have a Rhyhorn, but we have a Rhydon. It defaults into with 100 HP. Holy shit, that's a lot of HP. It's a Drill Pokemon. Length 6 feet. 3 inches, weight 265 pounds. Fighting energy and 2 whatever the fuck's for horn attack for 30. 4 fighting energies. You can use ram for 50. And Rhydon does 20 damage to itself. Ah, shit. Your opponent has any bench Pokemon. He or she chooses one of them, and it switches it with the defending Pokemon. Do the damage before switching the Pokemon. Switch the Pokemon even if Rhydon is knocked out. Weakness is grass because of the ground typing. Though he is ground and rock. Resistance is electric minus 30. And the Chi cost is 3 energies. And protected by an armor-like hide, it is capable of living in molten lava of 3,600 degrees, level 48. So I guess kind of a gamble. Perkamern. But you can do it alright. Oh god. Last few pals are right next to me, that's nice. Here we're at the normal types. Or the colorless types, I should say, I suppose. Which you can use pretty much any energy on for most of them, I believe. And I think they consist mostly of normal. There might be dragon type in here, that might count that as like a normal. There's also a lot of normal types around the colorless, and the flying types around the colorless. So, yeah. As far as I know, normal, the colorless is not weak to anything in this game, which makes normal a little better to be like this. Like, an advantage to normal types, like, oh, well, I'm not, like, nothing resists that type. But I think that's maybe why the ghost Pokemon resist fighting and not colorless. Another part of that, and also, like, to have some more varieties for the resistances depending on the classifications, I suppose. Here we have Meowth. That's right. With 40 HP. Scratch Cat Pokemon. Like 1 foot 4 inches. Weight 9 pounds. 2 of any energy, which of course we saw with the double colorless would be pretty easy. Oh yeah, also one more thing. Again, like I said, these can actually be easily supplemented for like any deck, because you can just toss one in and it's like, well, they can use any energies, so you know, they're viable to input into any of the type decks rather than having to be specific to just a type or 2. So 2 of anything, you can use Coin Hurl, choose one of your opponent's Pokemon and flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 20 damage to that Pokemon. Don't apply a weakness or resistance for this attack. So this is another thing I think I used, not this one, but it was a different kind of Meowth, maybe, or maybe I used that. Maybe not. I don't remember. I thought there was one with like a cat punch or something. But yeah, you can use this and like attack people like on the bench and like bully them into like clearing the bench so that way they can't defend themselves. The weakness is fighting because it's a normal type. Oh, I didn't know this. Resistance is psychic minus 30. That's something I don't understand, except for, again, ghost are psychic, so maybe that's why it's like that. But also probably resists psychic to make psychic less OP, and this may have been sort of part of the thing of like psychic was really overpowered in the main game, so maybe they were trying to overcompensate for the balancing. I'm not sure. It's probably just a side effect of it needing to resist ghost, which costs 1. A popular Pokemon that earns money for its owner with its payday ability. Level 10. Weird. Wow, wacky stuff. We have a more generic Meowth with 50 HP. So not a bunch of those turns. 2 of anything lets it use payday. Does 10 damage, and you flip a coin. If heads, you can draw a card. Weakness is fighting. So the resistance is psychic minus 30, and retreat cost is 1. Adores circular objects. Wanders in the streets at night on a nightly basis to look for drop loose change. Level 15. 4 of these freaking things. And of course evolves into Persian. 70 HP. This is the Classy Cat Pokemon. Length 3 feet 3 inches, weight 71 pounds. What a fat cat. 2 of anything lets you use Scratch for 20. 3 of anything lets you use Pounce for 30. And if the defending Pokemon attacks Persian during your opponent's next turn, any damage done by the attack is reduced by 10 after applying weakness and resistance. Benching either Pokemon ends the effect. Weakness is fighting. Resistance psychic minus 30. Here's something strange. There is no retreat cost for this motherfucker. No retreat cost to bring your Persian back, even though Meowth had retreat cost. Although it's for its many admirers, it is tough to raise as a pet because of its fickle meanness. Level 25. Here we go. The one that's so common in these, yet I couldn't find one of them for my freaking trading cards. Spearow, which obviously is flying type. In Gen 1, I think most of the flying types are, like those birds, are also a dual type of normal, so it sort of works anyways. But Spearows are normally known as like a flying type. And you may have noticed this card is also in my booklet, so I have one more of these than I have in my hand here. It's this tiny bird Pokemon, length 1 foot 0 inches, weight 4 pounds. Any energy can let it use Peck for 10. 3 of anything uses Mirror Move. If Spearow was attacked last turn, do the final result of that attack on Spearow to defending Pokemon. So I think this would still be a normal type, but the effects, such as the damage, basically, I guess it's just like, I'm not sure actually, so this is the result of the attack, so I guess if something was super effective to Spearow, you would do that much damage back anyways. And weakness is electric because it's flying type. Resistance is fighting because it's flying type, minus 30. No retreat cost. Eats bugs in grassy areas. It has 2 flappets, short wings at high speed to stay airborne. Level 13. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this deck still. And 1 in that booklet makes 7 total that I have. Holy crap. And evolves into Fearow. 70 HP, look at him flying all anime and shit. This is the Beak Pokemon. Length 3 feet, 11 inches, weight 84 pounds. If you have friggin' anything, you can use Agility for 20 damage and flip a coin of heads during your opponent's next turn. Prevent all effects of attacks, including damage, done to Fearow. Basically, the attack totally misses is the idea, because you're so fast with Agility. You evaded it. Then if 4 of anything, you can use Drill Peck, which actually isn't that hard, because again, 2 double colorless energies on this, boom, you're there. 40 damage. Weakness is electric, resistance is fighting, minus 30, and actually no retreat cost. That is, man, these are starting to surprise me. These normal types are really killing it here. With its huge and magnificent wings, colorless types, it can keep aloft without ever having to land for rest. Level 27. I only got 3 of those. But you need lots of the evolutions than the actual base ones. Oh god. Oh, it's Doduo. I wonder if they're gonna make a pre-evolution of Doduo called Doduo. Zolo. With just 1 head. 50 HP. Twin bird Pokemon, length 4 feet 7 inches, weight 86 pounds. With any energy, you can use Fury Attack 10 times. Flip 2 coins, attack is 10 times the number of heads. Weakness is electric. Resistance to fighting minus 30. Retreat costs nothing. A bird that makes up for its poor flying. With its fast foot speed, leaves giant footprints. Level 10. No Dodrio, though. 4 of those and no Dodrio. Jigglypuff. 60 HP. Balloon Pokemon length 1 foot 8 inches, weight at 12 pounds. Lullaby. When any energy used Lullaby, just defending Pokemon is now asleep. 2 of anything, pound. Does 20. Weakness is fighting. Resistance is psychic, or negative 30, I guess because it's normal type, and she costs 1. When its huge eyes light up, it sings a mysteriously soothing melody that lulls its enemies to sleep. Level 14. See those guys? Far-fetched. Just got punked. Looks like somebody just drew that on his face with a marker, those eyebrows. But that's the actual art, I swear to God. 50 HP. Wild Duck Pokemon, length 2 feet 7 inches, weight 33 pounds. Any energy, you can use Leak Slap, which does 30 damage, and flip a coin. If tails, this attack does nothing. Either way, you can't use this attack again, as long as Farfetch'd stays in play. Even putting Farfetch'd on the bench won't let you use it again. So you can, it's basically what you do is you throw Farfetch'd out there, and if you didn't get a double colorless energy or something on it, or you didn't get enough energies on it, I guess, at the start, you can still do that. Either keeping that for easy damage or holding it in your pocket for a possibility of a shot, I guess. I guess usually you'd want to use it earlier because you can also use just Pot Smash, which has 3 of anything, and you just do 30. Weakness is electric. Resistance is fighting. Negative 30. Tree cost is 1. The sprig of green onions it holds in is its weapon. This sprig is used much like a metal sword. Level 20. I always thought Farfetch'd was cool until I trained one, and I was like, I don't really give a shit. Here we have, and here's a fun thing. I've been watching the show, and it's weird because I've heard some other people saying this, and I've heard it pronounced Rattata. But in the show, in the way I always said it, probably because I saw the show, was Rattata. And that's how they say it in the show, was Rattata. So, I think that's right. And I'm being self-conscious about it for nothing. If only it mattered. 40 HP. Rat Pokemon. Isn't it funny how this is a rat? Looks more like a mouse. Length 1 foot 0 inches, weight 8 pounds. Pokemon power of Trickery. Once during your turn, before your attack, you may switch one of your prizes with the top card of your deck. This power can't be used if Rattata is asleep, confused, or paralyzed. Quick attack. With any energy, you can use quick attack for 10 plus. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 10 damage plus 10 more damage. If tails, this attack does 10 damage. Weakness is fighting. Resistance is psychic, negative 30. And retreat cost is nothing. Lives to eat walnuts, chestnuts, cheese, and milk. It eats milk, apparently. Level 12. Walnuts, peanuts, pineapples, milk. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut milk. Oh yeah. Come on, Rattata. Take it to the fridge. Another Rattata. This has 30 HP. In energy, and use bite for 20. That's it. Weakness, same shit down there. And bites anything when it attacks. Small and very quick. It is a common sight in many places. Level 9. Don't get attached to it, because it's bullshit. You gotta eradicate. Good thing it's not your rival's eradicator. It'd be fucking dead, according to some theories. 60 HP. It is a rad Pokemon. That one I'll buy. Length 2 feet 4 inches. Weight 41 pounds. With any energy, you can just bite for 20. But with 3 of anything, it can use Super Fang for. Question mark? Does damage to the defending Pokemon equal to half the defending Pokemon's remaining HP, rounded up to the nearest 10. Which pretty much is how the move actually works in the game, though I think you can't actually. I don't know if you can kill anything in the actual game, in the main games, with Hyper Fang or Super Fang. But I don't remember if you could or not. Weakness is fighting, resistance is psychic -30, and retreat cost is 1. It uses its whiskers to maintain its balance. It seems to slow down if they are cut off. Level 41. Who cut him off and experimented with that? What sick fuck? Here's Dark Eradicate. It has 50 HP. You evolve from a Rotator. If you have 2 energies, you can, if any of them, you can use Gnaw for 20. And 3 of anything, you can use Hyper Fang for 50. And flip a coin if Tails' attack does nothing. Weakness is fighting, same stuff as the other Eradicate down there. Eradicate's front teeth are incredibly powerful. It can destroy a 2-story house with them in 5 minutes. Level 25. Time me on it. 5 minutes, I swear to God. And I have 2 of these Dark Eradicates. I don't understand the dark qualities of them. I guess they're just supposed to be variants. Here we have a Pidgey. Boy, what a rare sight, a Pidgey. 40 HP. This tiny bird Pokemon. Length 1 foot 0 inches. Weight 4 pounds. With 2 of anything, you can use Whirlwind for 10 damage, and if your opponent has any bench Pokemon, he or she chooses one of them and switches it with the defending Pokemon. Do the damage before switching the Pokemon. So basically, yeah, do damage, then they have to switch them out. This is a really frustrating thing to throw around, but it can work in your advantage, though, if they can keep switching back up to the thing they need to have out there. Weakness is electricity. Resistance fighting. Retreat costs 1. A common sight in forests and woods. It flaps its wings at ground level to kick up blinding sand. Level 8. And the final normal type I have is Eevee. Sad that I don't have any of the evolutions, huh? 50 HP. Evolution Pokemon. Length 1 foot 0 inches. Weight 14 pounds. It's not just 1 foot 0 inch Pokemon. If any energies, you use Tail Wag, flip a coin. If heads, the defending Pokemon can't attack Eevee during your next turn. Your opponent's next turn. Benching either Pokemon adds this effect. 2 of anything, let's use Quick Attack. You already know how that works. It's got weakness, resistance. Same stuff. Retreat cost is 1. Its genetic code is irregular. It may mutate if it's exposed to radiation from elemental stones. Level 12. That's all of these. Now, what we have is a big stack over here of the trainer cards. Oh. And these trainer cards. Ooh. Noisy chair. Basically, you play these, and they do like a variety of effects. They say what they do on them. And again, we'll find out in the booklet down there. I should have moved it, but I never did. We'll find out what, how many you can play per turn. I think it's as many as you're able to from your hand. And yeah, I mean, like, I've tried to kind of sort them in a certain way, I guess. We'll see all these trainer cards I have in here, I guess. So, first off, I always see all the different things they can do, as, like, these don't count as Pokemon or energies. They're just, like, extra things for you to do. So here we have trainer cards, Potion. Just remove up to 2 damage counters from one of your Pokemon. Basically, I think it has to. I guess maybe you can remove it from any of them, actually, that you have in play. But yeah. I think it says up to 2, because you could also do it to just remove 1 if you wanted to, if there wasn't enough to take out. Apparently I have like 7 of these friggin' potion cards. So they're not super rare. Here we have the Super Potion. Discard 1 energy card attached to one of your own Pokemon in order to remove up to 4 damage counters from that Pokemon. So yes, it's a bigger heal, but you have to give up something for it to balance that. I have like 7 of those, holy crap. Here's a full heal. Your active Pokemon is no longer asleep, confused, paralyzed, or poisoned. Again, I don't think there's any kind of freezing in the game, so I don't have to worry about that. Also no burn in the game either. So yeah, just remove all that stuff. Here's a plus power. Attach plus power to your active Pokemon. At the end of your turn, discard plus power. This Pokemon's attack does damage to the defending Pokemon after applying weakness and resistance. The attack does 10 more damage to the defending Pokemon. So you can't like put it in and then like, oh, it's gonna double after a calculation. It always adds it at the end of it. But as you can play as many as you want, which I'm thinking is the case, and then you can just put a bunch of plus powers on your Pokemon, and then beef up the attack, do a little bit extra if you need that extra oomph to your attack. There's also a Defender, which attach Defender to one of your Pokemon. At the end of your opponent's next turn, discard Defender. Damage done to that Pokemon by attacks is reduced by 20 after applying weakness and resistance. So again, you could probably put a bunch of Defenders on your Pokemon and keep it from dying if you're really worried about a big attack, or just let it survive a little bit longer to do something. Here's Gust of Wind. It's blowing this weed all over the place, along with Super Mario Bros. 3 leaves. Choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and switch it with his or her active Pokemon, which is just kind of a way to basically set yourself up for an attack to take out something they weren't expecting you to beat on, and also can take away their... Basically, they'll have to sometimes put energies on them to retreat the Pokemon to get back out the one they originally had out and stuff. So, it's a strategy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of those things. Good lord. Here's Bill. He just lets you draw 2 cards. So you just draw more cards out of your deck, which is, like I was saying before, this is an easy way to run out of cards in your deck, but it also helps you get more stuff you actually need. and get more stuff in your hand at one time. This is especially good if you have a lot of trainer cards you need to play at the same time, and also therefore are diluted your deck a lot with these other cards. But this also, for every one of these you have, is one less card total that you have to actually use as, energy or or an action or real, like a Pokemon and all that. I got 5 of those. I think I try to make these some semblance of order here, because here's Professor Oak. Discard your hand, then draw 7 cards, in case your hand is crap and you just need more stuff. That's always a fun one to use right away, when you've got nothing and you're like, well, and sometimes it's a gamble. Like, I'm not going to have this stuff anymore, but I need something that can do this turn. Here's Pokedex. I thought I had more of those. Oh, I do. Something got in the middle of it. Here's Pokedex. Look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck and rearrange them as you like. So you can just, do like, set up your next turns for you while it's like, you were going to get this stuff anyways, but now you know, like, when you're going to get it and kind of plan around it a bit better, I suppose. Make it more advantageous. Here is Lass, which is you and your opponent show each other your hands, then shuffle all the trainer cards from your hands into your decks. Just to see what goes back into the decks, I guess. I don't know. Gives you an idea of what your opponent has. But then an idea what you have. Pokeball. Flip a coin. If heads, you may search your deck for any basic Pokemon or evolution card. Show that card to your opponent, then put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. Because you've already seen it, so they want you to see what is coming next. And again, that's they'll know what you have, but at some time, at some point it might not even matter, so it's up to you, I guess. 3, 4. Here's Switch, which is switch one of your bench Pokemon with your active Pokemon, which is something you'd want to do if you wanted to not use the retreat cost on them. Sabrina's Psychic Control. Oh, my thumb's starting to hurt. So I was like this cut, in my thumb in here, and it just won't heal. Flip a coin. If heads, choose a trainer card in your opponent's discard pile that isn't put in play, like Plus Power or Mysterious Fossil. You may use that card as if it were your own that isn't put in play. You may use that card as if it were your own card in your hand. If you do everything required in order to play that card, like discarding cards, that card stays in your opponent's discard pile. So that isn't put in play. I don't understand necessarily what that means. What's that mean? Like you can't put a Pokemon in there or something. I don't know. Anyways, here's Energy Search. I know this one. Search your deck for a basic energy card and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. If you really need an energy, it's a good thing to have. If you need a specific kind of energy. But like I said, it's basic energy, which means that you couldn't do the double colorless or the colorless with the potion or full heal on it, because Those are not basic energy cards, so that's like kind of the trade-off there. Those are not good for the colorless decks. Energy removal. Choose one energy card attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon and discard it, which I think also counts towards total colorless ones. That's one energy because one card. Those, holy shit. Energy retrieval. Trade one of the other cards in your hand for up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile, which is a great way to recycle those resources and keep more cards in your hand. Sleep. Rocket's secret machine. Flip a coin. If heads, the defending Pokemon is now asleep. So just in case your Pokemon doesn't have that, you can use that, I suppose. Mysterious fossil. That's how you get Kabuto and all that stuff. Play Mysterious Fossil as if it were a basic Pokemon. When in play, oh, that's what they mean by in play. It's like I can't put like a trainer card up that like plus power would require me to use like an attack or something, I guess, and I can't do that. Play Mysterious Fossil counts as a Pokemon instead of a trainer card. Mysterious Fossil has no attacks, can't retreat, and can't be asleep, confused, paralyzed, or poisoned. If Mysterious Fossil is knocked out, it doesn't count as a knocked out Pokemon. Discard it anyway. At any time during your turn before your attack, you may discard Mysterious Fossil from play. So I don't understand how it counts. Except for, it sounds like I thought you could put it on your bench, I think. But like, I don't know how it gets knocked out. This is just if it gets hit at all. Then there's the fossil egg. Flip a coin if heads. Either search your deck for a card that evolves from a mysterious fossil and put it onto your bench, or put a card that evolves from a mysterious fossil from your hand onto your bench. Either way, treat the new card as a basic Pokemon. If you searched your deck, shuffle it. You can't play this card if your bench is full. Because it just means like, yeah, so you could use it as like, in your hand you could just lay it on there, but I guess it's like in lieu of a mysterious fossil. Plus you could do it from your, from your deck and take it out of there just by itself. Or if it's like in your hand, it's like, well, you could do something before that and use this as a bonus thing for taking an extra thing out of your hand and setting yourself a turn. Challenge. That looks pretty neat color-wise. I like it. S. Ask your opponent if he or she accepts your challenge. If your opponent declines, or if both benches are full, draw 2 cards. If your opponent accepts, each of you searches your decks for any number of basic Pokemon cards and puts them face down onto your benches. A player can't do this if his or her bench is full. When you both have finished, shuffle your decks and turn those cards face up. Weird. Fervor. Show the top 3 cards of your deck to all players. Put any fire type energy cards into your hand and discard the rest. Super Rod. Flip a coin if heads. Put an evolution card from your discard pile, if any, into your hand. If tails, put a basic Pokemon card from your discard pile, if any, into your hand. And the final one here is Warp Point. If your opponent has any benched Pokemon, he or she chooses one of them and switches it with his or her active Pokemon. Then, if you have any benched Pokemon, you switch one of them with your active Pokemon. It's just a forced, like, switcheroo, I guess. Now that's all of these cards, but there's another little stack I have next to these. Of basically cards that I believe are either they are mostly Gen 2 cards or things that it seemed like they're from a different set or came later. They have all the same backs and everything, but they're clearly like very clearly from a different further iteration of the game. So that's why I kind of separated them like this. Yeah. So for Startskis, it's very shiny, very cool looking, but you can see all the different lines and everything on this Electabuzz, even though he's in a level, or he's like a Gen 1 Pokemon. This is obviously like a way different thing. Electabuzz, 60 HP, it's electric type. Doesn't say it's a basic Pokemon, so it does right there. Any energy gives it energy draw. Search your deck for a basic energy card and attach it to Electabuzz. Shuffle your deck afterward. It also knows reflect energy with electric and anything else. 20 damage. And if you have any bench Pokemon and if there are any basic cards attached to Electabuzz, take one of those energy cards and attach it to one of those Pokemon. That's weird. Weakness is fighting. No resistance. Tree cost is 2. There's no tidbit on this. So yeah, that's clearly done later. So I put it there. We got the Gen 2 ones, which still looks, our style looks pretty similar and everything, but Gen 2 is just a different thing to me, man. I'm sorry. I love Gen 1 and Gen 2 is cool all, but I don't have as much love for it as with all the stuff, as I do with the first. So Cyndaquil, fire type, 50 HP, basic Pokemon. Fire mouse Pokemon, length 1 foot 8 inches, weight 17 pounds. Because I didn't realize he was a mouse. Use 1 fire energy to use fireworks for 20 damage. Flip a coin if Tails, discard 1 energy card attached to Cyndaquil. Then there's 2 of anything to use quick attack, which is 10 plus. You flip a coin to do 20 more damage. There's Tails, it just does 10. Maybe this is the Gen 2 stuff, so the swoops, I don't know. Weakness is water, no resistance. Retreat is 1. It is timid and always curls itself up in a ball. If attacked, it flares up its back for protection. Level 21. Here's another Cyndaquil, which looks fucking crazy. Bit different card design here. But it looks crazy, dude. Fire type ID. HP, basic Pokemon. Anything, let's see, any energy, let's use Tackle for 10. A fire and anything, let's use Ember for 30 and discard an energy. Fire energy attached to Cyndaquil. Weakness is water, no resistance, and retreat cost is 1. Alright. Here we have Quilava, 70 HP. You have to evolve it from Cyndaquil. It's fire type. It is a Stage 1 Pokemon. Official. These Pokemon are called Stage 1 Pokemon. Type of fire energy and anything else. You can use Super Singe, which has 20, and flip a coin if heads. The defending Pokemon is now burned. That's, I think, a new thing, and I don't know how that would work. I'd have to look at some updated rules for that, probably, because I don't think that even existed until later on in the card game. And then 3 of anything, you just tackle for 30. Weakness is water, no resistance for T cost 1. Yeah, we got a Totodile. Water type, HP 40. Basic Pokemon. Big Jaw Pokemon, length 2 feet, 0 inches, weight 21 pounds. Any energy lets you use Bite for 10. Water and anything lets you use Rage for 10 plus. Does 10 damage plus 10 more for each damage counter around Totodile. Weakness is Grass. Resistance is nothing. And retreat cost is 1. It is small, but rough and tough. It won't hesitate to take a bite out of anything that moves. Level 13. That's interesting that it's resistant to, or it's weak to grass. Because most water types, and it is just a water type, are usually weak to electric. I'm not sure. I guess to keep it interesting, I don't know. Here is Mantine, which is a basic Pokemon. 60 HP, water type. It is a kite Pokemon, length 6 feet 11 inches, weight 485 pounds. Holy shit, it's huge. With 2 water energies, you can use Undulate for 20. Flip a coin of heads during your opponent's next turn. Prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to Mantine. Damn. Must be part flying, because its weakness is electric. Which would make sense if it was water and flying. And resistance is fighting. Which again, if it was part flying, that makes sense, but I don't actually know for Mantine. Entry cost 1. Swimming freely in open seas, it may fly out of the water and over the waves if it builds up enough speed. Level 31. I, for some reason, have 2 of those. We've got a Natu, a Psychic type with 40 HP, Pokemon, Basic Bird. Badge, little bird Pokemon. Length is 0 feet 8 inches, weight 4 pounds. With 1 psychic energy, you can use Confuse Ray for 10. Flip a coin if it has depending Pokemon is not confused. Its weakness is psychic, but its resistance is fighting. And retreat cost is 1. So basically, this would be pretty good for fighting, like fighting types. Because then it'd be like, well, like you'd be super effective and you would resist the crap out of them. So it usually forages for food on the ground, but may, on rare occasions, hop onto branches and peck at shoots. Level 13. Girafarig, another psychic type with 60 HP, basic Pokemon. Long neck Pokemon, length 4 foot 11, and weight 91 pounds. It's a weird. It's always been a weird one, but interesting. I thought it was somewhat neat. Agility, 2 of anything lets you use agility for 10 to flip a coin of heads during your opponent's next turn to prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to Girafarig. You use 2 psychic energies, you can use Psybeam for 20. Flip a coin if heads, the defending Pokemon is now confused. And interesting, this actually has, because I don't know what the actual typing is, I thought it was just psychic, but it has no weakness and no resistance. Entry cost is 1, so that's pretty nice. Each tail has a small brain of its own. Beware, if you get close, it may react to your scent and bite. Level 30. You have a Pillow Swine, which evolves from the Swinub. This is a stage 1 Pokemon, water type, because usually it's ice. 80 HP. Swine Pokemon, length 3 feet 7 inches, weight 123 pounds. 2 water energies, you can use Freeze for 10. Flip a coin if heads, depending Pokemon can't attack. So it sounds like there's still not a frozen one. Stats effect. Benching or evolving the defending Pokemon. Ends this effect. And then Blizzard, which is 3 water energies. You can do Blizzard for 30. Flip a coin if heads. This attack does 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. If Tails, the attack does 10 damage to each of your own bench Pokemon. Don't apply your Jesus. So its weakness is grass. Its resistance is electricity. And I think it's probably a secondary type of ground then. Which would make sense that they would make it grass as the thing that's good against it. She costs 3. And because of the long hair all over the body obscures the sight, it just keeps charging repeatedly. Level 36. We have a lantern, which evolves from Chinchou, which I didn't know that at all. It's electric type, it's stage 1 Pokemon, 70 HP. Light Pokemon. Length 3 feet 11 inches, weight 50 pounds. Its Pokemon power is hydroelectric power. I'm guessing it's water and electric type. You may make Floodlight do 10 more damage for each water energy attached to Lantern, but not used to pay for Floodlight's energy cost. This power can't be used if Lantern is confused or paralyzed. Okay. Then you use 2 electric energies to use Floodlight, flip a coin if heads. Also, you can put water energies onto it. That's where the water type comes in. Flip is 20, flip a coin if heads, 20 Pokemon is not paralyzed. Its weakness is fighting, but no resistance. Energy cost is 2. The light it emits is so bright that it can illuminate the sea's surface from a depth of over 3 miles. Level 26. And the last of the actual Pokemon cards. We have a freaking crazy Tyranitar. Which evolves from, I think it's Pupitar. It's like Larvitar. I forget which is first because I'm stupid. There's the Pupitar and the Larvitar. And then Tyranitar. Maybe that's Larvitar. I can't forget which is which. 100 HP, stage 2 Pokemon because it has the double evolution. Oh, it says right up there, that's a Pupitar. So it's Larvitar and then Pupitar. And it looks like it's a dark type. I think is what that is. Is it a dark type? I've never seen it. It's like new, so I think it is. We'll see from context in a minute. Look at how crazy that is. That's crazy. Armor Pokemon, length 6 feet 7 inches, weight 445 pounds. With 3 of anything, it can do Slam, which is flip, which 30 times, which is 2 coins, stacked with 30 times the number of heads. It's gotta be dark type. I don't know what else that would be. It's too bad I don't have any of those energies or anything anyways. It's 2 dark energies and 2 of anything else. You can just trample for 50, and for each bench Pokemon in play, yours and your opponent's, flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 30 damage to that Pokemon. Oh shit. Don't apply the weakness resistance for bench Pokemon. So it doesn't seem to have any weakness, apparently. No weakness. It should be fighting or something. It's also some other type, I think, too, but I don't know what the other type is. And its resistance, it must be dark type because it resists psychic. And its cost is 3. Its body can't be harmed by any sort of attacks, so it's very eager to make challenges against enemies. Level 54. That's crazy, dude. And last year, some trainer cards I thought didn't fit. It seemed like they were newer ones. Like, Moo Moo Milk is obviously a Gen 2 thing with milk tanks. Choose one of your Pokemon. Flip 2 coins, remove 2 damage counters times the number of heads. For that Pokemon, if the Pokemon has fewer damage counters than that, remove all of them. couple of those. Energy Arc, I think could be that one, but it just felt like it wasn't. I'd never seen it before, so I was like, I don't know. Maybe the copyright down there would save it, but it just didn't feel right to have it there, so I didn't put it in there. Flip 2 coins for each heads. Search your deck for a basic energy card. Show that card to your opponent, then put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterward. It could be a legit one, but it just didn't seem right. I never encountered it before. We have Professor Elm, again obviously, Gen 2. Shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw 7 cards. You can't play any more trainer cards this turn. Got this card, which is Bill's Maintenance, which you're looking at this and it's like, I don't remember if this is something that came in later. It's called a Supporter, also, I don't know. Just like the design of the card, it makes it very, very obvious it's different. You can play only one supporter card each turn. When you play this card, put it next to your active Pokemon. When your turn ends, discard this card. If you have any cards in your hand, shuffle one of them into your deck, then draw 3 cards. So, I don't know, that's the thing they were experimenting with, I guess. This last one, I think this came much later. I think my parents found this. It's like on the ground somewhere, so it's pretty beat up. Like, it looks like it got stepped on quite a bit. But, like, this is a trainer card, it's an item card. Just look at the lighting there, you can see just how roughed up this is. Like, this might stand out if you had it in there. Like, oh, I wonder what card this one was. It's a Draw Fossil, which I think is Gen 5, or... I think it's 5, because I think that's what got the... whatever the T-Rex thing was that I had, I think it was that. It's Gen 5 or Gen 6. But at least Gen 5. Maybe at the bottom here we'll clear it up. What does it say? Okay. That was probably Gen 6. It was only 14. Look at the bottom 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal a Tyrant. That's what it is. And reveal a Tyrant you find there, and put it onto your bench. Shuffle other cards onto your deck. Into your deck. Okay, that's kind of a rough one. But that's all of the trading cards. Sorry, fighting cards. Whatever. And the plan for the next video is I'm gonna look at the booklet with all the rules and stuff. This is version 1, so this is version 1, but it also has like a 2 in the booklet, so I don't know. Yeah, this is what we're looking at next, along with some other booklets. Basically the plan is to look at some booklets, look at the games I do have, and then just kind of the way the flow of it went. I wanted to do this, so do it with those, and then have the last video after that one be the toy stuff. So I'll see you there, and have a great day.